Hey, everybody. Thank you, Maha, for sharing. Thank you, Georgia, for sharing. We're going to get rolling in just a minute. Saturday. Figure I had to come on here and say a few things. I've not done a Saturday broadcast in a minute. Hey, thank you for sharing, Anna. Let me see, I'm going to share this to a few places, and I'll pop up my big head in a minute. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Gotta talk about the UFOs today, people. I'm sorry. I don't think people really understand the most significant thing on the planet. There is no greater conversation. There is no important discussion than what enslaves us to this planet. There is nothing more important. All right, I'll get this shared. Go. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hey, thank you for sharing, Tammy. I appreciate it. How's everybody doing this Saturday? Is everyone getting their politics in order? Politics? Thank you for sharing, Lori. I just look at what we post. I look at what we think is significant. I always say we gotta stay focused on the most important thing on this planet. That's the fact that we are on this damn planet. Nothing more important. So I spent the last couple of days or hours looking at free energy and all the lies that they have. Let me just clarify this. This is my belief. Everything revolves around one simple problem. We are trapped on this damn planet. Everything. All human conflict. Every struggle. Everything that you don't see on the news. All comes back to energy. Exactly. Who said that? Brenda, there's no more politics. There is nothing in politics important. There is no social movement, social struggle, justice, racial, tribal. There is none of that is important. Nothing. I'm going to say it this way. Because people like to fight. People love to fight. You can't get lost in it. Let me see. You still audio off a bit. It's hollow and choppy. Okay. Can you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That's the number one question. Can you understand? We're trapped. Exactly, Lori. We're trapped. And we're all gonna die. All you can do, let me see, try to log back on. Okay, so Anna, it must sound good for you. Stay focused. Stay focused. Everything goes back to aliens. Everything. I'm trying to tell you, everything goes back to UFOs, because one day, man and woman were walking across this damn planet. Kid too. And they looked up. Thank you for sharing, Carolyn. They looked up and they said, what the hell is that? And ever since, man has been trying to become God. Little G God, big G God, I don't know anything about. All I know is we are enslaved to gravity. We are enslaved to energy, and that's why we are trapped here. We don't get off of this planet. We all gonna die. We are all gonna die. It's not gonna feel good. It's gonna hurt. And so ever since, our kings, our lords, our chiefs, our tribal groups, our civil rights movement leaders, our feminist leaders, everybody, our politicians, everybody towards the top, keeps us in conflict over energy. Energy, so they can stay on top. All of it. There is nothing in the news that is important. Nothing that anybody wants to argue about or struggle or fight about. Because it all comes back to energy and using human beings as slave labor, as we always have. So every time you have a discussion with people, always tie the struggles back to UFOs. Always try to tie your struggle back to aliens and conflict and us being enslaved on this damn planet. Because that's the only reason. Like, think about it from a slavery perspective. Why does slavery exist? I'm not talking about African slavery. I'm talking about all slavery. I'm talking about Native Americans enslaving Native Americans, Africans enslaving Africans, Irish enslaving Irish, English and Germanic tribes enslaving English and Germanic. Why does slavery exist? Human labor. What solves human labor? UFOs, free energy. The fact that something can sit in an anti-gravity format above our head and we want to get there. Man's wanted to join the heavens ever since the heavens existed, ever since it saw things flying over. And it goes way back before Nuremberg, right? Was that 1452 or whenever they saw the big UFO battles over in Nuremberg? Far before that. And then everything in the news is to get you to talk about everything else like it matters, and not the fact that we're trapped here. Thinking about it from a anti-gravity perspective, this is what my brain was processing the other day, is, you know how they kind of always try to fight and tell you that, oh, anti-gravity doesn't exist, outside of the fact that there've been almost 1,000 whistleblowers that have come forward and said, no, anti-gravity exists and we have the craft, we're just using them for military operations, and so you don't get to know about it. By the way, that behind me, that's the TR-3B from the Aurora project, the TR-3B Astra that everybody's been seeing flying over, the mass sightings in Phoenix, Arizona. You know, if your issue is climate change, your issue is aliens. If your issue is, well, not aliens specifically, UFOs. If your issue is racial problems, your issue is UFOs. Thank you for sharing, Tony. Appreciate it. I'm going to start highlighting the people that share. Appreciate that. I put you on blast a little bit. I appreciate people who step up and try to bring a bigger conversation, a more important, high priority item. If your problem is the sea levels are rising, your problem is free energy, UFOs. If your problem is every problem comes back to that. You want to be a patriot, nationalism? Thank you, Nameless, for sharing. It all comes back to free energy. Why? This is what I was thinking about. You know how they say that anti-gravity doesn't exist? And they just lie in your face. They lie in your face and you believe it. What is weightlessness? What is weightlessness? It's anti-gravity. It's the opposite of gravity. They're like, anti-gravity doesn't exist. We don't have the capability for electromagnetic gravitic drives. We just don't have that sort of technology. It's impossible. Meanwhile, they got all these videos of people floating around in space. Why do you think they're floating in space? Because there's no gravity. Minimum gravity. So there's no question it exists. Of course anti-gravity exists because weightlessness exists, and they think you're stupid, and they think that's why that's why they talk about it. Because they think you believe them. Who was that? Daniel? Thank you for sharing, brother. Some of the pop-ups. It's just the planet that we're on. Like a good example was who said it? Bob Lazar. He was talking about, why do you think you can see stars through the sun? Why do you think you can see stars through the moon? You don't see them through the moon. It's just gravity affects everything. Gravity actually doesn't really exist. That's a whole nother topic. But gravity, light, time, they're all the same thing. They're all connected. You can't affect one without affecting the other. So when you look at the sun, you can see the stars behind it because the light bends around the sun. Thank you for sharing, Lee. Appreciate it. We're trapped on this planet. Why? Because the way I heard it explained, and I want to look at Stephen Greer a little bit this morning. The way I heard it explained is that the gravity doesn't really exist where atoms pull each other together. It's more dark matter. Dark matter pushes everything away. And so everything that has mass to a degree, all the atoms are pushed onto these little gravity well spots called planets. So everything that has gravity, everything that's pushed together, is enslaved together, is pushed down here. That's why we're here. So everything here is affected by gravity. It stays here. This is why when they go up into space, they lie about what they find, because everything that's anti-gravity, everything that dark matter can't push into a gravity well is up there. So they have to lie about what's up there, the same way they had to lie when they got to America about what was here in North America. Oh, there we go down that rabbit hole. Victoria, I think the rabbit hole is important. I think there is no more important discussion. Nothing on the news matters except the fact that we are all being enslaved for the fact that they're lying that they've solved gravity. I think that when the kings and the lords and everybody looked up and they saw the little G gods, when the little G gods came here and they taught us agriculture and science and going back into the book of Enoch and all that, ever since man wanted to be God, the same way we would want to be God. And they keep us in conflict over everything: water, energy, food, land, overpopulation, everything, racial violence. And it all comes back to energy. Like, I got into this long discussion, good sister, about the police, right? And I was trying to explain to her why the police do what they do. And he said, well, because they're racist. And I say, no, they don't do what they do because they're racist. They do what they do because of aliens. They do what they do because they're told to do what they do. It's profitable. We have social economic systems that put the poorest of the poor, the humans that are used for the hardest labor, on the bottom. And if they don't do that, you put them in prison. They do what they do because they're told to by legislators. And why by legislators? Because legislators write the laws. Why do they write the laws? Because they're paid to write the laws. Why are they paid to write the laws? Energy. They want to retire. They don't want to do the hard work. They don't want to do the heavy lifting. They want to do the light lifting and make the most money. And why do they want to make money? Energy. Gravity. They're trapped here in order to survive, in order to move, in order to be anti-gravity, in order to get on an airplane, to go on a vacation, to get in a car, to go anywhere. They have to get energy. Everything goes back to UFOs. Everything goes back to anti-gravity. Everything goes back to money, monetary systems. Monetary systems are there for energy, human labor. Things need to be grown. Things need to be made. Things need to be put together. There is no important issue other than the fact that we're lied to about anti-gravity and we're kept in conflict with each other. We have to solve that problem. There is no other important problem to talk about. So everything comes back to anti-gravity, and this is my point. We are slaves. We are all slaves. Some of us are doing a little better on the plantation than others, but we're all trapped. And we need to act like we're trapped. We need to unite like we're trapped. We need to stop dividing up like some of us are free and some of us aren't. Some are free-ish. Some of us have better access to human labor, which is money, right? Money's a representation of human labor in the bank. Your ATM statement is a statement of how many slaves you own. Energy. Everything goes back to energy. And the kings, when they solved the energy problems, they didn't tell us. Stephen Greer said in 1954, we actually solved the problem of energy. And it actually makes sense. Not long after Tesla died, not long after Roswell, not long after they got all the UFOs, and we had all of these whistleblowers going back to Thoth. Thoth was a whistleblower. Going all the way back to Thoth and all of these craft, did we find it from aliens? How did we discover anti-gravity? It started from cavemen. We looked up, actually before that, saw something in the sky, we wanted to be that, and eventually we did that. Only we hide the fact that we did that. Lord Rothschild is still in control. Yes, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all the other families, because they've mastered energy and they get us into conflict over energy. So we fight with other people who don't look like us, fight with other people who are born in different places than us, fight with other people who believe in different religions, little G gods, big G gods, over energy. We kill each other over resources. This is the first global revolution. I think it is, Victoria. I think this is the first global revolution. But I want to encourage everybody to constantly go back to UFOs. You know, the most important thing to talk about is the one thing the media doesn't talk about. The most important thing to talk about is the one thing that's the most ridiculous, you know, by the kings and the lords. And that's the fact that they hide the most significant discovery in the history of the human race. And that's the fact that we actually don't have to kill each other over resources. They keep us divided. It all breaks down on the lowest levels and even ends up in a prison system. It ends up in a war on drugs. It ends up on all, like everything goes back to anti-gravity. We're trapped on a planet because we're being pushed here by black matter. We can get off. We have automation. We have robots. There is no problem we can't solve. We just lack the energy. And so they hold it. And that's how the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers stay in power. It all goes back to governments can't have secrets. It all goes back to all the whistleblowers. They're not nuts. They've been saying the same thing everybody's been saying back to the Sanskrit text. That you actually don't need chemical explosions to drive a car or fly a ship. Yes, sir. Sir actually means slave I remain. Oh, Anthony. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. You hit me, brother. You hit me. Anthony, y'all, he just hit me. He hit me hard because I was raised to say yes, sir. I was raised to talk like that. I speak to everybody that way. I'm always yes, sir, yes, ma'am. What does ma'am mean? Am I good on ma'am, Anthony? Can I call everybody ma'am? That actually makes sense in a scary way. Thank you for sharing. All right. And I want to look at Jesse Ventura's discussion with Stevie Greer here in a minute. I remember reading this. Let me see. Okay, thank you, Maha. They master deception. They have mastered deception, Brenda. They master manipulation. They master control of our intellects and our minds. They master the ability to get us to turn on our neighbor for a politician or leader or tribal thing. And it's crazy. Is this a picture from Independence Day? Travis, I think it's a fake picture. I don't know what it's from. That's the TR3, right? Is it TRS3? Hold on. No, TR3B. It's one of the craft that the whistleblowers told us that they have. It's based on anti-gravity and I think nuclear energy. We don't need gas. We don't need fossil fuels. We don't need the wars. And it pisses me off, which is why I got the picture of it behind me, because everybody we killed in Syria, they died pointlessly. They died for our ignorance. They died because we believe the struggles that they put us in. Everybody who gets shot by police is because of TRSB. Every Lavoy Finicom, Ruby Ridge, every revolution around the world, why we topple Latin American governments, why people walk here from Honduras, why people are walking to Europe, why immigrants are everywhere. It's because we're slaves. Thank you for sharing, Ivana. It's because we're slaves. We're slaves to energy. And it's because we don't force the discussion to talk about what's most important. Kings and lords can't have any more secrets at all. All right, let's get into it. They become master manipulators. They become masters of mind control. And they put fluoride in the water. Stop drinking the water. They put fluoride in the water. Okay, I want to get into this here because I don't want to just sit here and rant. I want to look at some UFO videos. I'm going to look at some anti-gravity videos. I'm looking at Nikola Tesla videos. I'm going to try to focus. I haven't talked about it in a while. I try to link it back, but I don't think people get it, that everything comes down to energy and human labor.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of my end of the year show special. Today, my guest and I answer questions that you, the viewers, posted on social media. So sit back and enjoy. The world according to Jesse. Dr. Stephen Greer is a medical doctor and founder of the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence. He joins me now from Washington, D.C. Dr. Greer, welcome back to the show. Great to have you back.
Thank you. It's great to be here again.
Well, one day after you appeared on my show last year, the New York Times revealed for the first time that the Pentagon spent $22 million on a secret UFO investigation project. You alluded to the existence of this advanced aerospace threat identification program in your movie Unacknowledged. How do you feel now that the government acknowledges its existence?
Well, you have to realize that the documentary Unacknowledged, as well as the book by the same title, Unacknowledged, became the #1 documentary for 2017. So there was so much information going out to the public that I think the government's trying to get ahead of the curve by leaking some information, such as that particular case where there was a fighter jet chasing an UFO off the coast of California. We have much more detailed information about that, by the way, and we don't have time to go into it. But it just shows that whatever you think the government is doing on this, there's 1,000 times more. It's not 22 million. It would be in the $200 to $300 billion a year actually going into what are called unacknowledged special access projects.
Now, Stephen, you sent me some interesting topics to discuss. One of them is about an alleged underwater UFO base off Guam. You say Navy SEALs, of course, which are the Navy frogmen, and other Navy personnel have reported encounters there. Is that right? Tell me about that. What is going on? I'm a former Navy frogman.
Yes, I'm aware. That's why I was going to ask you if this is anything that had ever come across your radar screen while you were in the Navy, or not. But
no, this is all new to me. Go ahead and talk.
Well, we have a new top secret witness who was on a Coast Guard cutter that was called in very quickly to a site where a Taiwan fishing vessel had caught in its net a 20 to 30 foot diameter disc, and they were retrieving it, and they successfully got this out of the water. It was extremely heavy.
I'm going to pause for a minute because before we go too far, let me kind of explain. So Stephen Greer, what he's done is he's put together almost 900 people now, 900 professionals from different fields of study, people who worked for the military, people who worked on black budget projects, people who were police officers, people who've seen these things and worked on the technology, people who have careers, people who all want to testify in front of Congress that everything they said is true, right? Now you understand testifying in front of Congress is a federal offense. And last time I checked, federal offense comes with lifetime in prison, right? So lying to Congress is not something you would wake up in the morning and do because it's fun and it's trolling and you get to have fun. That's what you do when you have an important message you want to get out there. So that's who Stephen Greer is. And what he kind of explains is that 90% of everything you see about aliens and UFOs, over 90% on the internet, is fake and it's made up and they're fake pictures and it's just people playing games. But then there are very real people who work with this technology who've thrown away their careers. They're throwing away their ability to make that money. The ability to make that slave labor and fill accounts and have that retirement. To let people know there's something significant about what these little quiet governments are always up to. That's who Stephen Greer is. And that's who the people he's talking about. So he's not talking about people trolling on the internet. He's talking about very real people who are coming forward like Julian Assange's and Manning's and the whistleblowers from the CIA. People who are saying that you need to focus. There's something bigger happening in this world, bigger than your little silly struggles.
So heavy that the buoy ship that this gentleman was on was tilted at 45 degrees trying to hoist it on board. And this became very top secret. It was an extraterrestrial vehicle, and apparently this gentleman who has come forward with his testimony and all of his Department of Defense documentation as to who was with him and who the CO of the ship was, says that once he got to shore and began talking to people, that there were a number of Navy SEALs and other Navy personnel that have seen over the years many of these ET craft going in and out of the area near the Marianas Trench, which, as you know, is the deepest point under the ocean. So this has actually just come to light in the last month or two. We're putting the documentation together about it. But that I was curious if you had ever run across this. And in his talking to other Navy SEALs who are read into this particular project and ones that had happened before, he realized that there was a lot of activity in that area south of Guam.
Huh. That's interesting, Stephen. Now, I never dove in Guam. I did land there when I was deploying overseas for my first deployment. But then we spent the night there, but then we took off and headed off to Subic Bay in the Philippines after that.
Right.
I dove all over Southeast Asia, the Philippines and all that. But I have to tell you, the only encounter I ever heard of was in Subic Bay, and I don't think it was a UFO. We were swimming out to Grandy Island, and one of my teammates, something passed right underneath him when he was on the surface that blackened out the whole bottom. But I got a feeling it might have been a large manta ray or something else, because we do swim in there. Yeah, we do swim with a lot of normal underwater, should we say, neighbors and all that when we're in there. But no, I have to personally tell you, I cannot in my career ever state that I saw anything under the water. And I did dive around the world in many places, but I never saw anything under the water that was unexplainable to me.
Right. Well, ask some of your buddies. If you ask enough people, you're going to find they have, but they usually are
really?
They are told never to speak about it.
There are hundreds of whistleblowers who've come forward on USOs. What's a USO? Underwater submersible object. Why do I think that makes sense and it's plausible? Most of the worlds out there are water worlds, whether it's liquid water or ice, whether it's ice on top and there's water underneath. And we know that now, right? NASA even releases that. So if you're life out there in this galaxy with hundreds of billions of planets in the Milky Way galaxy alone, and there are hundreds of billions of universes out there, and you're mostly aquatic life, where would you go when you came here? Washington? No. Russia? Moscow? No. Where would you go? You would go to where you were most at home, which is in the water. So USOs, and the other thing is keeping quiet about who you are. You don't really want to bother the natives. They're interesting. They're like in a zoo on land, and you want to go see them in the cages and send your kids to go fly around and school trips every now and then. You would go to the ocean. Why? Because you could do what you needed to do and you wouldn't have to be bothered. So probably most life that lives on these gravity wells called planets that black matter pushes all material together on would be aquatic based. And that the great thing about that is you'd be disguised. So that actually makes a lot of sense, outside of the fact that the Navy is telling us this, outside of the fact that people off the coast of, where was that? Is it Catalina Bay or off the coast of California, Santa Barbara, who see all of these UFOs go underwater. Why is it important? Because all human conflict is over energy. All human conflict is over energy. Every social movement, every justice movement, everything you're trying to do, all your political struggles are over money, which is all energy and gravity. There is no more bigger topic in the news ever than energy.
For example, we have a man who was on a nuclear submarine that was on a mission looking for these underwater ET craft, and they had a lot of specialized gear tracking it, but they were tracking these objects going 450 knots underwater without wake. And the way you do that is through the special kind of field propulsion that they use. But I have a great deal of detail on those sort of cases that deal with nuclear submarines tracking these objects deep under the oceans. But these are very classified operations. If they happen incidentally, the people who are involved are forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement for 70 years, blah, blah, blah.
That's another good one. All the people forced to sign the non-disclosure agreements, they come forward before they die. They come forward after the classified time has come to an end. I think Lori asked a question I wanted to jump on. So the Armageddon issue, you know, water will be the Armageddon issue. It is. And we're in water right now. Somebody, man, who said that? We are. We are in water right now. Everything is hydrogen. All around us, H2O and oxygen, right? Hydrogen is in everything. We're just not in as much water. We are water. Our body is water. We are aquatic creatures. We actually crawled out of the ocean. Think about that. All life probably is aquatic to a degree. We just developed this thing called skin, where we've got bags and ways to keep our salinity, our water, which is the salinity of the oceans, within. And now we walk around on land. It's all aquatic. We just learned to do it on land. So could aliens learn to do that on these hundreds of billions of planets? Of course they could. Makes perfectly good sense. Somebody else says something else I'm going to jump on. Love Stephen Greer and all he's exposed. Yes, Ivana, I love him. I love him because of his professional approach. I love him because he's not there to get clicks and likes. And he walked away from being a doctor to try to awaken people to something that's a lot more significant than all the struggles we get locked into. All right, let me see. I get everything. Somebody asked, what is consciousness? I don't know. But if consciousness has anything to do with gravity, electronic waves or wave energy, which is what we like to talk about a lot, and wave energy is concentrated and increased in aquatic environments, and I think there's something there. It's related. I mean, wave energy is transmitted better through crystals, right? It's concentrated. It's transmitted better through aquatic environments. Water is key. Hydrogen is very significant to the human body and everything that we need. And I don't think just from a biological perspective, I think that it goes back down to the fact that it has something to do with, we have this consciousness thing, and it transmits better in water. You know, they're trying to find the brain. They've always thought it was in the mind. They're trying to find the mind. They always thought it was in the brain. Think about the human brain and a circuit board. It needs metals. It needs means of transmitting between neurons. What do they call it? Dendrites that connect them. They transmit better aquatically than they do non-aquatically.
Now, in my case, what I've been able to do is get enough. I have now over 900 military and intelligence people who come forward with these sort of encounters, because we discovered that the underlying projects are being run illegally, up to and including lying to the president and Congress about it, as well as top brass at the Pentagon that I have briefed. I mean, I briefed the CIA director, Bill Clinton's first CIA director, R. James Woolsey, and he and the president were completely being deceived on this subject, even though I had documentation about it. And when they made a directed inquiry into it, they were basically told to jump off a cliff. So there are some operations going on that are really dangerously secretive, to the point that folks have no idea, and they're very large.
Wait a minute,
projects.
Stephen.
Now, of course, he's going to stop him real quick. Jesse's going to stop him. We're going to talk about it. And that's why I post it all the time. Everybody wants to focus on Trump. They want to focus on Obama. They want to focus on May and Merkel and Putin. And I mean, you really think about it. So what he's explaining is that the United States presidents don't even have access to the information. Most of Congress and your Senate don't even have access to even know that free energy systems exist. And if they don't know, how do they run the world? How do they run your nation? How do they make good decisions for your political party or your struggle or anything that you got going on if they actually don't know? And even if they did know, what could they do about it? And this is why when I see every single news headline is Trump, 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 it's obvious that the truth is in the opposite of what they will put in the mainstream media. Presidents are slaves too. They are captives too. The last thing I heard is there were 12 levels of secrecy over top of the United States presidents. They don't even know what's in the damn country. So to explain to me how they run the country. They're puppets, all of them.
Stephen, wait a minute. Time out. Time out a second. You mean you took this to the president, and
Yes.
the president inquired about it and was told basically it's none of his business?
Correct. I will take a polygraph.
That's
to that
amazing.
effect. Yeah.
That is.
And I don't want what he just said to fade away. He said, and I will take a polygraph on that, along with the 900 other people who are willing to spend life in prison to tell you that UFOs are real and this technology is the real deal, that most of them right now are ours. Most of them are these TR-3Bs. Most of them are the US Air Force. Most of them are the Russian Air Force. Most of them are Britain Air Force. No one throws away their career for that. You don't say I'm going to take a polygraph test unless it's true.
That is utterly amazing.
It
now,
should scare the hell
is
out
this
of anyone who
piggyback?
just understands what I said. You as a military guy more than anyone is going to understand the danger of this.
I'm astounded over that. I mean, that's the commander-in-chief. That's the head of the country. How can he possibly be told he can't know about something?
And I'm gonna clarify too, Jesse ain't astounded. He's not. Don't believe Jesse's been on conspiracy theories a long time. He is not astounded. He's astounded for you. He's astounded for you because you're just starting to believe some of this. And if you're starting to believe, he's got to act like this is new. It's not new. The kings and lords have always hid stuff from us. They always played these games. They've always needed new ways to have slave labor. They've always held the technology from us secretly. Why? Because that's where power comes from. He's pretending because he knows your intellect isn't ready for it. He knows that you still believe in your politician. Jesse knows that you're still posting about Democrats and Republicans. He knows that you're still posting about yellow vest protests where you need to apply for permits. He knows that. He knows it'll crash your entire frame of reality. So he's got to pretend he's surprised. I'm not surprised. He's not surprised. And a lot of my friends aren't surprised. Why? Because when you start to look in this and think historically about how things of control systems have always worked, why all the religions, where they all came from, it makes sense.
Well, you know, I had a man on Ronald Reagan's national security staff who knew about this subject. He says, we tell the old man what we want to tell him. And when we want to lie to the president, we lie to him. He was very cynical. It's very Washington. And this is the sort of thing, this is why I left my medical career. You know, I'm a trauma doctor, emergency doctor, because this is an enormous threat to our democracy. People have no idea how dangerous these projects are.
Wow. Now,
it's a threat to the world, not just to democracy. That's why I ask people, what are you a patriot to? I always say, I'm a patriot. Patriot to what? Are you a patriot to a flag that's been bought? Are you patriot to a nation that's been bought? Are you patriot to a political party that always lies to you? Are you a patriot to a politician that's been caught taking money and lying to you? What exactly are you a patriot to? Are you a patriot to your species? Are you a patriot to your race? Are you a patriot to your religion? Think about it.
You say you've been underwater with UFO events involving our nuclear submarines.
No, I haven't. I have
really
people. I have people on my team who have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, are we really tracking UFOs underwater? Explain why you believe this is happening and who's keeping track, and has it exactly been verified?
Yeah, there's a highly compartmented operation within naval intelligence that handles these sort of encounters, and there have been specific missions where our nuclear subs have gone out to track or to detect underwater extraterrestrial vehicles. ETVs is what they're called.
I gotta pause again because I want to go through and mention a few things. You guys are talking about Nestle. Why is Nestle important? Why are they talking about Nestle? Why? Because the next wars will be over water. They're over energy and oil and water. If you don't have clean water, you don't have fluoridated water coming out of the tap, coming out of the municipality, it's not dumbing you down. Plus there's artificial scarcity. What does Nestle do? Like all the soft drink companies and the bottling companies, they go to places, they pump out the water, and if there's less water, you got to buy the water. It's called artificial scarcity. If you don't have water, you're in conflict. Everything is done to keep us in conflict. You have big corporations that are in on all of this scam, and then big corporations like Nestle that have no interest in UFOs, aliens, or free energy and anti-gravity. They just want to make money. But the politicians give them all the laws, all the rights to pump all your water away, pollute all your aquifers. The Indian farmers are killing themselves because they don't even have water. Why? Because it makes you fight. It makes you conflict. It makes you want to kill your neighbor and steal their water. Right? And that's how all of this works. You have multiple layer upon layer upon layer. Like Shrek said it, damn it, Shrek told you. Ogres got layers. Deep states have layers. Corporate greed and monetary systems have layers. You got massive corporations, which are very small on the totem pole, that are keeping you in conflict. The same reason you pay taxes in America. Why? Because they want poor whites starving. They want poor blacks starving because they know when you have less money, you're more apt to fight with your neighbor. And as long as you're fighting with your neighbor, you're not looking up and fighting with the people who have anti-gravity technology that would remove all human conflict.
In the National Security Agency. But these have been going on for decades. I have several people who are on my team who are military folk who have been on these submarines when these events have happened, and it's not every day, but it's not unusual either. But these are, again, very classified. They're kept incredibly secret, and often it's intelligence gathering operations.
All right, hold on, move forward. I want to see commercials. I just want to go through the discussion topics.
Welcome back as we continue our conversation with my guest, Dr. Greer. The world according to Jesse. I think you have a question for me now?
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the things I wanted to ask is were you ever in, or did you know anyone who worked in what's called the Technology Management Office, the TMO, that's in one of the sub-basements of the Pentagon?
Well, I can honestly tell you this. I've only been in the Pentagon one time in my life.
Okay.
That was when I was governor, and I think I probably got the standard Pentagon walkthrough that probably any governor would get.
Gotcha.
You know, in my time in the service, I never saw the Pentagon. I was in San Diego, California, or deployed overseas for 17 months, so I can't talk to the Pentagon at all.
Well, you know, one time when I was at the Pentagon, I was briefing the head, the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and he had made inquiries into this issue and also had been lied to. He was furious, by the way. And also, on another meeting, I had astronaut Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man to walk on the moon, with me, and I was there with my military advisor, and I was briefing the head of intelligence, J2, for the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So this is the man, the admiral who's in charge of the intelligence briefings for the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He had, through a document I published, found a unacknowledged special access project, secret project, dealing with UFOs, and he made an inquiry, and he was told, I'm quoting, they said, "Sir, you don't have a need to know." And he said, "God damn it, I'm the head of intelligence for the Joint Chiefs of Staff. How can I not have a need to know?" And they said, "Sir, we will not discuss this with you further." And they hung up on him. So these are these.
Because nations have no significance anymore. Y'all think I'm playing when I say nations don't exist? Nations haven't existed in a very long time. Their nations are just figments of your imagination to keep you fighting with somebody else. It's the same reason Nestle pumps all the water out. Because if they can keep you in conflict, then it's good. It's the same reason the NAACP loves it, KKK. Why? Because it pays their salaries. The same reason Black Lives Matter. Well, let's be nice. Let's say the leader in Black Lives Matter who opened her mouth speaking. Why don't they like Trump's plan to end mass incarceration? Why don't they like the fact that they're ending mandatory sentences? Why? Because it justifies the conflict that gives them the power. None of these things exist anymore. Everything is for conflict. Everybody wants to rule the world. Everybody wants to sit on top of you. Everybody is willing to sell you out. That's just the fact of how it works. People are talking about love. Love is the key. Avoiding the conflict. Thank you. Because if you don't have enough love, if you got selective love, then you can align with people who look like you, people who got your eye color, your foot color, born in your nation. They're in your political party. They're in your religion. If you don't have any love, you can look past the other love. If you don't have any love, you can say only dark lives matter. If you don't have any love, then you can say only white lives matter. If you don't have any love and you don't have the ability to look and say it's a travesty anytime any child is murdered on this planet, then they can play you against everybody else. So that's why love is the answer. It's not cliche and it's not hippie. Love is the answer. The only way we make it off this planet, we get out of this gravity well of a hole that we're in, is to love, it was like agape love, across the board, everybody. No levels, no hierarchies, because anytime somebody gets to the top of your group and you've been convinced as a person that you need a leader and they can lead you, they're going to lead you astray and sell you out. I've seen it my whole life, and that's exactly what's happening in every social movement. That's why I say it all comes down to UFOs. It all comes down to gravity and human labor, because they don't want to take down the oppressor. They want to become the oppressor. That's why they don't want to remove the system that Trump's in. They don't want to remove the system that Obama was in. They don't want to remove the system that Bush was in. They want to be the system. They want to be the one to dictate who lives and dies, who has water and who doesn't. That's why I'm saying you can't play around with these people. They're all sellouts. Fight the power, not the people.
These are true.
Oh, I want to say something else. Hang on, I'm not done. I'm still ranting. Sheepless in Seattle on YouTube was talking about Aquaman. He said, Hollywood loves to drop crumbs in your face and laugh. referencing Aquaman, which is a great movie, right? Gets back to the Atlanteans, right? And that's what Aquaman was based on. Was Atlantis a real place? Did we have civilizations that were aquatic way back then that had high technology? Maybe. The Egyptians seem to think so. Solon and Plato seem to think so. The Mayans seem to think so. The Aztecs seem to think so. The Native Americans seem to think so. Going all the way back, they all seem to think so. But us. Why? Because we're stupid. We watch the news. We believe leaders. We're adults who wear underoos of Bernie Sanders and Barack Obama and Donald Trump. And the reality is we're all slaves. We're all being enslaved to the limits of our intellect. We got to get out of this ignorance and focus on the fact that energy's free. Human conflict doesn't have to exist. It's an artificial construct to create artificial scarcity to keep everybody fighting each other so the kings and lords, the ones you love so much, can all stay in power.
This is true. Every word I'm telling you is true. So I mean, this office, there is, people don't realize nothing important is above the surface of the earth. It's underground. So they're in SCIFs, secure communication information facilities. But there's one in the Pentagon, and there's an office there called the Technology Management Office, or TMO, and that's where a lot of these projects are managed from.
This is amazing, Stephen, because here you've got this guy with the Joint Chiefs, and he's being told by the government he doesn't have a need to know. That reminds me so much of when I did conspiracy theory, and we would go out and go after these conspiracies, and many involve the government. And I learned quick, you can't ask the government a question and expect to get an answer.
They get a straight answer.
One.
Yeah, right.
I feel good now knowing that this guy even got the runaround like I did, and I was a civilian.
And it's not just him. It was Clinton and it was a few others. They all went for the UFO files and they said, you don't need to know. Why in the hell are you fighting to elect people who don't even get to know, who don't have the right to know? It's how stupid it is, because they're just puppets. They're put in place to keep you fighting. That's all they are. It's this fantasy construct.
Yeah, well, don't feel bad.
What was your other...
the president, I personally know of presidents of the United States that have gotten the runaround. So, you're in good company.
Unreal. Now, you had a second question for me.
Well, I had also was wondering if you had any of your colleagues over the course of your career have encounters with an extraterrestrial being or a craft. Is this something you've heard people in your network talk about, or has it never come up?
Never. And the way I understood the question was, if I did get the encounter, what type of training did I get? Nothing. Okay. I went through a lot of training. I went through SEAL cadre. Sure. I went through SEER school, where I was essentially waterboarded. I went through jump school. I went through all of these schools. Never in my naval career was I ever told anything about ET or extraterrestrials or UFOs or anything of that. We were too busy. We had an obligation in Southeast Asia that took most of our time up.
Sure. No, I am aware of that. This doesn't surprise me, but I know of some people who were involved in peripheral issues where the matter would come up. But,
It could be. Anyway, since this is a special social media episode, I'm
going to pause real quick because Victoria said something I have to key in on also. Forget everything that they taught you in school. Everything. Everything. And someone else said something that lines up with it. Ty's talking about study symbols and world origins history. Even though most of it's a lie, learn it all. School is just made to get you to conflict. That's all it is. School is there to get you, to teach you how to be a good slave. Enslavement to this system. They lie to you about all of history. That's why they burn everything from the Mayans to all the ancient cultures, right? All of the out of place artifacts, the archaeology, the footprints in stone, the wheels that they found in stone and bedrock, right? They hide all of it. Why? Because if they can convince you the best you got is what you got now and your government's got your back, the people who don't even get to know the truth, then they can keep you in conflict with other people. That's what school is all about. Question everything. I tell people all the time, question me. If you hear me say something that doesn't sound right, you need to ask me the question. Now try to do a little research first, pretend that you care about the topic, but try to do your research and question it. And this is what I'm saying, but we shouldn't have to question, right? Government shouldn't have any secrets. Government, big corporations in a time when they have the massive power to destroy the planet, nobody should have any secrets, right? If climate change and overpopulation is your issue, how in the hell can you not have a discussion about the top secret technology they use to go murder people, they use for the spy planes, and not use that to stop climate change, to not use that to get off of fossil fuels? Not that we can stop climate change, but damn it, we can sure start making it a lot worse than what it is.
I wanted our viewers to weigh in online. They've got some great questions and they want me to ask you, Steve. Here it goes.
Sure.
Ronald Price asks, do you believe the government denies knowing about UFOs to make sure that big oil keeps its monopoly on oil-based energy rather than free energy that's available through dynamos used by ET crafts built by Adam Tremblay? Answer and explain what he means.
Yes, he's 100% correct. This is actually a technology and geopolitical story, and to answer it very quickly, the technologies that are behind the propulsion and energy system of what we call a UFO was figured out by 1954, which means that we have not needed oil, gas, coal, nuclear power, jet engines, rockets, internal combustion engines in cars since that date, which is, I was only not even alive in 1954. I was in
I was 3.
All right.
1954, right? Which syncs up. It's not like Nikola Tesla didn't tell us. It's not like Einstein didn't explain it to us. It's not like we didn't know that this was the case. It's not like they didn't make the electric car in 1911, but it was around 1940 when Nikola Tesla died, right around the time, right after Roswell. Gave him a couple years to figure out how to do what they saw the gods doing. They figured out how to do it, and we've never needed oil since. All the nuclear disasters. Think about all the people who died since. The billions of people who died in war. The billions of people who died. How many people are sick and got radiation from nuclear fallout? How many nuclear power plants do we have around this planet? All of this is about control. It's about keeping the dumb monkeys fighting each other over dumb things that are useless, that haven't been needed since 1954. Look at the documentary. My goodness, Corbett did a great one. Look at his documentary. Somebody can post that link explaining about how big oil runs everything and going back to Devil Bill and John D. Rockefeller. Look at everything is a rich man's trick. Look at that documentary. Do your research and understand that it's funny how all of this comes together. Isn't it? Funny how all of it starts to tie together. So to me, everything is a degree of plausibility. It's not what I know and what I don't know. It's how plausible is it? And if you got 100,000 people who've been telling us going back since the beginning of time, writing on cave walls, installing it in stone in the Egyptian temples, writing it on papyrus every damn where they can. Sister talking about the giants in the book of Gigantes and why it was kept out of the Bible, because they didn't want you to read what Jesus read. That's why, dummy. I love you, but that's why. What is his name? King James. He didn't want you reading that. He didn't want you to know that, yeah, there are all different types of creatures that have been on this planet ever since. They don't want you to know where Star Wars came from. They don't want you to know that it came from that Indian text, and the Hindus been complaining about it. Star Wars wasn't a trilogy. It was a story. And he plagiarized it from the Sanskrit text. Things have been coming here since the beginning of time. And we worship them. Perhaps they started human civilization. We called them gods. And then our kings wanted to become gods. The aliens, for whatever reason, they decided, all right, we're kind of done with this. We got another project. And they went to another universe, another galaxy, another planet. Who knows? And then what the kings do? Oh, I'm in touch with the gods. You got to listen to me. And formed a religion. Took a lot of, picked and choose which scriptures they wanted to put in there. Left out the book of Enoch. Left out the book of Gigantes. Left out the book of Thomas. Left out anything that even resembled a Gnostic text that told you that you are basically, God is within you. That's what Gnosticism is. And Jesus told you. What did he say? He said, greater things I have done, you will do. Focus.
I wasn't a twink from my father's eye, man. So here's the deal. This has to do with geopolitical power, what I call the petro-Nazis, oil, the petrodollar itself, and all of the infrastructure that goes with it. Because if you disclose that these UFOs are real, the first thing a scientist is going to say, how are they moving at those speeds and making right-hand turns? How are they defying gravity?
Exactly.
Well, when that question gets asked, we have people who will answer it. And when it gets answered, so that the whole world knows it, then it's the end of oil and coal and nuclear power. So that is, that is a huge issue. It's a huge, big deal.
Right. And this was the point. That's how I started this out. Everything man conceived, man has achieved. And that's not one woman to woman. Actually, woman probably did. I'd get in trouble. I said, everything woman conceived, man went out there and he had to achieve. But anyway, that's a long story. We won't get into that. Everything. From the wheel to flying craft to boats to everything. Everything we've ever thought about, we got there. Talking about time travel, bending light, we did that and do that, right? Everything we've ever conceived, from the fax machine to everything, the combustion engine, we always get there. So when we look up and we see a craft sitting in the sky, we figured out how to do it. If it wasn't a blimp, it's electromagnetic gravitic drives and 0-point energy. Everything we figure out, we always end up doing. And I think that's where it gets to consciousness. I think that where it gets to just really deep topics people are scared of and they don't understand. And when you think about it and you go to sleep, you might do some voyaging. You might be getting upgraded. Something omnipotent might be uploading things to your brain so you can be a Nikola Tesla. That we might be being driven more than we drive. But everything we think about, everything we see, we eventually do. So the fact that you've got UFOs that have come here from the beginning of time and cavemen writing them on cave walls, eventually we were going to do that. We saw the heavens, we wanted to get to the heavens. And we knew how to get there because we had to look at the craft. And we even got it, to me it's funny because like they don't even sometimes hide it anymore. Sometimes they just don't talk about it, right? The little $22 million project and what was that government-controlled disclosure BS that the guy, the guy was the project he was running where they said, oh, well, here's an F-18 and here's a UFO we're following at the beginning of the year. And it was just nonsense. Well, we've got $22 million that this billionaire Bigelow is working with the government looking into UFOs. Is that true? Yeah, it probably is true, but it's controlled opposition. Why? Because we know the Pentagon lost $13 trillion that they don't want to talk about. You don't spend $22 million to figure out how to make a craft that can stop on a dime and go 8,000 miles an hour. You spend every dime you got. You get the dumbest people you can find for your citizens. You get them fighting. You get them to pay taxes. You print the money. You create a Federal Reserve in 1933. You destroy their currency by 98% of its value. You start war conflicts. You do anything you can to keep resetting the dumb monkeys into fighting each other while you figure this stuff out. And once you figure it out, then you can decide what you can do. Because then at that point, you have a breakaway civilization. You got two realities. You got the reality that's on TV, and then you got the reality that very few people even have access to, and almost none of your politicians.
Steve, I'd say we're about 50 years late. We better get on it.
Well,
now, old
yes.
Quiddy asks, how do you separate misinformation from truth regarding UFOs and ETs? How do you do that?
It's a very good question. I require 2 or 3 corroborating data points as well as documentation from a whistleblower, someone who has firsthand knowledge. A government document has to have a provenance associated with it. I don't deal with the rumor mill of nonsense. I would say more than 90% of everything that you will find on the internet on this subject is utter and complete nonsense and rubbish. I will say that. However, the 10% that isn't rubbish is of the most great significance, I mean, to the human future and also to our having a sustainable planet here. Because, look, these technologies are technologies that if they're put into application, we would have no poverty and no pollution within 20 years. We would have a sustainable civilization. We should have had that by the time you and I were born, Jesse. But here we are floundering around with oil war number X, Y, and Z, and all the nonsense going on. when we really need to move on. But the money people, the big power centers are in the money and technology dealing with this issue. They're not at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue or on Capitol Hill. The big power is in the financial system.
Yeah, it's
The financial system, the monetary systems, which is why we always talk about that, along with the petroleum systems, right? The control of everybody. I love his answer here. You know, how do you separate the BS from what actually might make some sense, knowing that over 90% is BS? And this is why I trust Dr. Greer over everybody else. Why? Because he's the one talking with the people who worked on the projects. He's not some little guy sitting on the internet playing on his computer in Photoshop, making stuff up because he wants to get some likes and posts. Is you look at plausibility. If your government is saying UFOs don't exist and aliens aren't real, we don't have any knowledge of it, which you remember Obama lied about that. Remember the Obama administration just lied their butt off. They asked him, have you ever, is there any knowledge of, what was the question? It was on whitehouse.gov. They asked, does the government have any knowledge of alien or UFO crafts? Outside of all the documents they are just now releasing, the documents that all nations have all released, the Obama administration came right out and lied to you right in your face. They said, no, we have no knowledge of any UFOs or aliens ever existed. That alone right there should tell you everything that you need to know, that you need to be looking into. So how do you determine what's true from what's false? I don't think we can. I think you look at plausibility. If all the ancient cultures are all saying all this is real and it's true and they've been trying to figure out how to do it, and Atlanteans were real and they had flying craft we couldn't figure out, whistleblowers, people throwing away their career, people making 0-point energy and new types of power and cars from water and hydrogen, and they start getting killed and dying, your plausibility scale should be going up and up and up and up and up, that you don't really maybe have all the scriptures you need in your religion, that maybe King James did lie to you a little bit, that maybe you need to look a little further, that maybe, yeah, ancient people saw things they just couldn't figure out and they made some things out of it. They made some religions. It's not to say religion isn't real, because to me, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. A creator's a creator. I don't think a God is any less omnipotent if it uses electromagnetivity or sleep or the pineal gland or whatever it is to know what we're up to and to upgrade us at nighttime and give us suggestion, right? I don't think it's any less real. If God is this ancient DNA genetic engineer that modified us from some monkeys and microbiology and a little bit of its DNA and our second chromosome or whatever, I don't think it's any less omnipotent. That's why I say there's only one religion, and that's the religion of people who are trying to find out what's true, and everything else is just people believing the kings and lords and the limited information of the ancients that they gave them.
Isn't it always follow the money?
Yep.
Another user asked, what do you know about the world's largest radio telescope in China? Do the Chinese give access to others?
Well, the Chinese actually have been more open and forthcoming about UFOs than the United States. And I've met with a number of people in China, although they have compartmented operations dealing with this as well. Most of the big players on the financial and corporate stage don't want to rock the boat. And you talk about a disruptive technology, there are no disruptive technologies in Silicon Valley. These are the truly disruptive technologies. Now they need to come out. So with the Chinese, with their radio telescope, I have no doubt that they have tracking mechanisms where they pick up UFOs all the time. I met with a senior ambassador from China years ago who confirmed this to me. Now, whether that particular radio telescope is purposed for that reason or not, I don't have any intelligence on.
And finally, Chris Jones asked, will the U.S. government ever give full disclosure about what they know about UFOs and aliens, or will it just trickle through from the heavenly redacted documents?
First of all, the government, which government? The government that we elect and have in there, they couldn't find their ass in a well-lighted room with both hands. So here's the problem. It's a terrible expression my dad gave me, but the fact of the matter is, it is in a compartmented, unacknowledged special access project system that really is not, it's not as if every member of the Senate Intelligence Committee or president can say, we have all the information, here it is. Because it isn't managed that way. It is highly compartmented. It's way past top secret. So the question is, how do you get this fixed? That's why I founded the Disclosure Project, to get people who have been in those projects to come forward as whistleblowers with documentation to put out to the public. If you go to our website, SiriusDisclosure.com, S-I-R-I-U-S disclosure.com, we have links to over 70 of these top secret witnesses and thousands of pages of documentation on our website. So I encourage people to go there, but what's more important is that people who've been in those projects, they need to come forward as patriots. It is an act of patriotism to stand up against a fascistic, illegal level of secrecy. And I think that people need to do...
Dr. Greer, you got to watch out, because look what we do to whistleblowers. Whistleblowers end up in jail.
Well,
you know, that's what the government...
Yeah, right. A couple things there. Yes, whistleblowers end up in jail. Why? Because we're stupid. Because when people give up their careers and come forward and risk going to prison and be killed to tell us the true things about our real world, we agree with it. Dumb ideas, turning on Julian Assange's, dumb ideas, stupid ideas, calling Snowden traitors, foolish ideas. Why? Because you believe in a fantasy government. You believe in people low on the totem pole who aren't even allowed to know what's true. Why? Because you get credit online, you know, posting something about Bernie Sanders or something. You get credit online. You got friends, you can be tribal and get some likes and stuff. Posting about killers and liars, posting the nonsense that they actually take money to murder people from the military-industrial complex. And so we're stupid, because when people give up their lives to tell us what's true, we don't believe it, because we're a little higher up on the totem pole, right? We're doing a little better on the plantation than everybody else. And it's, but we don't want to rock the boat. And that's what they say that free energy will do. It'll rock the boat. And you don't want to rock the boat if you got a nice house. You don't want to rock the boat if you got $100 million and your Black Lives Matter. You don't want to rock that boat. You need to keep that slavery boat sailing. You got a career, you got a future, you got a retirement. You want to rock that boat if you were born into a wealthy family, got millions and billions of dollars. You don't want to rock that boat if you were a CEO and you got some big corporation going on. You don't want to rock that boat. But guess what? The boat about to rock us. I think Victoria was talking about it a little bit earlier. The planet's getting sick of us. The planet is just, whether you believe it's just one big organism or it's just a chaotic, balanced form of energy reproduction, and it has means of balancing things out. When the earth becomes unbalanced, it will balance, it'll rebalance. It'll definitely rebalance. And we've proven to the earth that we are a cancer. We've proven to the earth that we are a virus. We've proven to the earth that we're here to break apart its balance. And it'll balance us back out. And it's not some mastermind brain. I mean, I would think that, yeah, probably all the creatures on this planet form some big, massive, thinking, balancing creature. Or it's just energy. And everything learns to consume energy. And if the majority of energy on this planet dissipates, and the most significant thing you have are human beings and their technology, if plastic is all in the ocean, then bacteria learns to eat plastic. If human beings are the only mammal left running around on the planet because they murdered everything else, something's going to learn to eat humans. Maybe it'll be the avian virus. I don't know. But everything balances out. That's why I think that there is no rocking the boat. We either keep letting people die or we stop being stupid. We either keep agreeing with these conflicts and fighting other poor people, or we actually start to fight the system. We go back to being sentient. We use our brains. We stop outsourcing our intellect, and we start trying to solve problems, listening to people throwing away their life to tell us what the hell is going on, and stop believing in fantasy governments and under-rule leaders. You don't need under-rules.
I've been doing this since the 90s. I've been doing this since the 90s, and what we've been able to prove is that these projects are illegal, and if they touch us, it will be their worst nightmare in a court case.
For the same reason, Congress will not have hearings on this. For the same reason, they used to go there every year and have these UFO anti-gravity conferences. alien conferences and Congress. I mean, I think there were a couple congressmen, ex-congressmen or senators who actually went, but the real ones, oh hell no, they don't touch it. They don't go anywhere near it. Why? Because when you get people testifying in front of Congress, it means there'll be an investigation, and they can't have any investigation. Why? Because they're a little higher up on the slave plantation, right? Because they want to enslave you. The Republicans don't believe in a republic. They need to keep you captive. Democrats hate democracy. The Black Caucus hates black people. Like, this is how it works. They're higher up on the slave plantations, and they're pouring the lemonade for master. And who the master is, they want to get closer to. Everything works together on the macro and micro level. Everything is just a lie. It's all a lie, and it's all made to keep you fighting with other people who didn't steal anything from you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Greer. That's all we...
All right, I'm going to stop with that. Dr. Greer, if you haven't looked up the Disclosure Project, you need to. The truthful things in our world are about everything is human conflict. The TR-3B is a real vehicle. Not because I say so, but because it's a real vehicle, because the whistleblowers told you. All right, we'll do some questions. I did want to look at some anti-gravity stuff real quick. There were some interesting anti-gravity things. It's a real technology. Exactly. If you have kids or pets, as if we will survive without rocking the boat. We won't survive. Thank you, Carolyn. We won't survive. We are all going to die. We're all going to die because people are still posting on politics. People still pretending they're patriots to crazy fantasy ideologies that don't even exist anymore. People are still fighting over race and dumb things that don't matter to the grand scheme of everybody's going to be dead in the future. Everybody. And the planet will reboot. Few people make it. Tibetan monks, they'll go into caves or something and they'll come back years later and they'll be like, you know, there was a time back in the day they had this thing called internet. Some brown guy etched on a piece of rock somewhere. It was called the internet, and the whole planet was communicating with each other. And the people at that time were like, no, they weren't. No, they didn't. No, that don't exist. I don't believe it. That's just fake news. That's made up. We all came from hobbits with hairy feet running around in the jungle. There was no internet. That's just dumb. They had wheeled chariots that ran on dead dinosaur fossil fuels. Oh, come on, man. What kind of nonsense is that? Because they'll probably be drinking fluoridated water too. All right, let's see. And then the whistleblowers. Oh my gosh, these people are dying on their deathbed to tell people the truthful things, and we just don't want to believe anything because we're stupid. Stupid is such a harsh word. I don't mean to be harsh. We're lost. Psychopaths don't love. These people are psychopaths. They are sheepless in Seattle, but people, they love their psychopathic leaders. They love them. They love them. They tell them exactly what they need to hear, and they fall right in. Fall right in. Give them some hopey changey and make America great, and they fall right in. That's all you got to say. Ain't got to say nothing else. Ain't got to do nothing for them. Ain't got to say nothing. All you got to do is be Bill Clinton, get a saxophone, go to the ghetto, pick up a black baby and kiss him on the cheek and play his saxophone. Oh, we love you. Well past the crime bill and murdering everybody and starting human trafficking from Title 4D and Title 4E of the Welfare Reform Act, outside of the fact that he wrote the Telecommunication Act. We love you. Give me some hopey changey, and I'll agree with the Propaganda Act. I'll go along with it. We're cheap dates. Stop being a cheap date. Know how valuable you are. Know what you are. Try to figure out what you are. Don't be a cheap date to these politicians. I am so sick of seeing these Bernie posts. Man, I love y'all to death, but if I could smack you in the head with a wet noodle, I would, because I am so sick of it. Like, we got real problems to solve. It's time to stop talking about the Bernie Sanders and the Trumps and the Obamas and all of this nonsense, the Democrats and Republicans. Grow the hell up. Grow up. We got real problems. Don't you got kids? Like, don't you have grandkids and nieces and nephews? Don't you want a better world for them? Or you just want to be popular on the internet? You just want to get some friends? You want to get 5,000 friends? You want some post likes? What you want? All right, I'm calmed down. I'm calmed down a little bit. I get excited by it. It's like, we got real issues in the world, and none of them are political. None of them. None of them. We can't even talk about the real issues because you tune in every time somebody's talking about Trump and Obama and Bernie flakes. Exactly, Lori. We're killing off our own species. We are literally cutters. We're chopping off our own legs. We're chopping off our own arms. We are serving our kids up to big corporations and oligarchs and liars and leaders and politicians because we got the underoos. We are willing to let our children die miserably, choked out, because you want to get some post likes on the internet. You're just a little child because you just want to. That's why I said, that's why you got to get in touch with your consciousness. You got to get in touch with something greater, and be okay with it. You got to be okay with just the nonsense and the dumb stuff that people are still on, or you'll lose your mind. I want to look at free energy for a moment, because free energy is free. Energy's always been free. It's not no big amazing thing that they made figured out 0 point energy. At gravity and figuring out how to make an anti-gravitic drive is not a difficult thing. I don't think it is. Why? Because there are almost 5,000 patents of people who figured it out that they hide from you. You want me to like your Bernie post? Then to have Bernie say something about the 5,000 patents that are locked up. But he won't. Why? Because he's higher than you on the slave plantation. He wants you to be his slave. He wants a retirement. Maybe he's got an idea how this works and he won't ever talk about it because you work for him. You're the dumb monkey that's going to die, and your children are going to die in miserable pain. Same with the Trump supporters and the Obama supporters, because we believe these fantasies. We believe in unicorns and Loch Ness and Bigfoot and everything else. Everything unimportant. American politics. It's a joke. Central banks fund every side of all wars. They never lose victory. Exactly. Every single war. We've been lied into every single war. Every child that's died in every single war. Everybody's been buried under rubble. Everything is over a lie about we need oil. The war in Syria, it's always a lie that banks fund both sides. The people who own all the big corporations that lend them all the money, lend all the money to both sides to make all the tanks, to make all the bullets, to make all the bombs, so you dumb monkeys can go off and kill each other over fantasies. Fantasies. I'm sorry, I don't even sit here yelling at you. I just think it's nutty. To me, it's not funny. It's not really funny. It was kind of funny. I think we come back, y'all. I think when you die, you just go to the game lobby. It's like, oh, dang it. How'd you do? Oh, I suck, man. I messed up. I believed in Hopi Changey. I believed in this. Oh, I thought I was American patriot. Turns out it wasn't real. Like, you get in the game, and it's like you want to take some cheat codes back with you next time you go back as a human. That's what I kind of think. I don't know if it's true, but I kind of think that's true. I think while you're here, you just got to try to push things in the right direction. And we fail at doing that. Grandpa wants to pull... Elizabeth, he said, Grandpa wants you to pull my finger. Right, that's how the politicians do, Elizabeth. Like, pull my finger. Gotcha. Oh, damn it, and you die. Go to the game lobby. Oh, man, UFOs are real. They had secret technology, breakaway civilization. We didn't have to kill each other and fight each other. You want to take it back? You can get born again. What to do? Politician, hey, pull my finger. I got you again. Oh, we keep going back. I'm just like, oh, Lord. When are we going to grow the hell up? Henry Ford made tanks for Hitler and the war machine. Yes, he did, Victoria. Why? Because we're stupid, but dumb. We believe we were buying Fords back then. We're still buying them now. Why? Because we believe whatever comes over TV. They believe what went over the teletype back then. We believe what comes over the internet now. We never believe the kings and the lords are lying to us. We believe everything they tell us because we just don't seem to get how this world works. We're always played against each other. Anti-gravity is real. It's always been real. Oh, let me see if I got a good anti-gravity video. Like, it's just crazy. It's not like they don't tell us. Who's this whistleblower? It's another whistleblower. Who is this? Boyd Bushman. Oh, did he die? He's the one that died. This is the Lockheed Martin guy that died on his deathbed.
Well, that isn't what we're talking about.
And he told us.
All. So I wondered if gravity could be related to its cousin magnetism.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found that when I take two magnets together, I have some neodymiums around here that I'm actually afraid of.
They're so strong.
They can danger you. Mm. But anyhow, you take a magnet, you go to put them together and they go clunk, right? Mm. But you take one of them, move it around, and all of a sudden that one doesn't want to go together.
The repulsive.
So I got a I ordered one at $5,000 a piece.
Wow.
with a 1/4-inch hole through between both of them, and I put a brass bolt and I tightened them down, forcing them together.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put them together in a thing that looks kind of like a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I got another one.
I'll post a link. You can watch the whole video. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. So what he did is, he went to the top of the building, right? How does gravity work? And you take the big rock and a little rock, and he dropped it off a 60-foot building. I'll post it. You can watch the whole thing. He just says he's an old guy. Old guys take too long to say stuff. I got time. You got stuff to do. I got stuff to do. So I'm gonna hurry you through this. And so gravity pulls the big rock and the little rock down to the ground at the same time. They both land together. So he did this with this magnet, and he dropped it, and he did the experiment something like 60 times with 9 people. The rock landed first. Anti-gravity is real. Why? Because we live on a planet, and they lie to you and they say anti-gravity is not real, but they show you weightlessness. This man died and told you the truth. He worked for Lockheed Martin. He saw the ships. He saw the aliens. He saw all of it. And just before he died on his deathbed, where he could get away with it and they wouldn't kill him, and he told you all of this stuff is real, that they're lying to you, and then he died. I'll post the interview. All right, I want to move on.
To escape the pull of the Earth's gravity. A spaceship using an electromagnetic drive to neutralize gravity is the obvious answer. A spaceship using an electromagnetic drive to neutralize gravity is the obvious answer. A spaceship using an electromagnetic drive to neutralize gravity is the obvious answer. A spaceship using an electromagnetic drive to neutralize gravity is the obvious answer. But such a device is still a dream for the future.
Oh,
how would you define gravity? Could you describe in layman's terms its basic principles for us?
Gravity is something difficult to explain because it's something that we essentially don't understand. It's just something that we can observe. Not much is really known about gravity. There are many theories about it, but they are just mainly theories. There's theories of gravitons, which allege that there are these subatomic particles that act like an attractive force like gravity that exchange between 2 pieces of matter. There is also a theory that gravity is a form of wave, an electromagnetic wave. Gravity is a form of wave, an electromagnetic wave. Gravity is a form of wave, an electromagnetic wave. Gravity is a form of wave, an electromagnetic wave. But basically, gravity is a force. It's the inherent property of matter to have gravity, a mutual attraction for each other.
Deanne Divis with United Press International. Could you please address the vehicle that there was a drawing displayed of? Why would this vehicle be on display at an air show? What is the power source that you are asserting is going to be so very useful? And how can you determine that this vehicle is not something that is being developed, by a government agency?
In fact, I think that was the testimony. This is an alien reproduction vehicle, and just to be clear, this means that it is based on advanced anti-gravity and zero-point energy propulsion systems. They are being manufactured by a consortium of companies that include Lockheed Martin, Northrop, SAIC, and other corporations. But this is not a jet internal combustion system at all. It is actually kicked in by a type of electric power source, and it then accesses this ambient zero-point energy field that is responsible for all matter and energy existing, and by special configurations and what have you, it causes a cancellation of mass inertia and an anti-gravity effect.
The white background represents the dark.
The greatest crime in the history of the human race is unfolding as we watch. There is no more important thing in the news than the fact that we kill each other and we're dying as a species. We're killing a planet and 200 mammals a day. 200 species a day die over the fact that we're destroying a planet because they're hiding the energy that they have. And that's why I'm saying that none of this there is nothing more important. Nothing. Everything goes back to UFOs and energy. Everything goes back to human labor. Every conflict, every move, all of it. If you're not talking about UFOs and anti-gravity and governments can't have secrets and we need to stop the human conflict, you got problems. Everything goes back to the fact that we are enslaved on a planet to gravity, because gravity attracts to itself or is pushed away from dark matter, as this explains.
Dark energy field. The pulsing represents the electromagnetic distortion around all matter, like 2 atoms. The electromagnetic distortion pushes dark energy away from matter on a gradient and makes all matter appear to have an attraction towards itself. Gravity can be defined as the electromagnetic force that matter exerts on the universe on dark energy that causes a dark energy field effect, or gravity. Gravity can be defined as the electromagnetic force that matter exerts on the universe on dark energy that causes a dark energy field effect, or gravity. Gravity can be defined as the electromagnetic force that matter exerts on the universe on dark energy that causes a dark energy itself, like a gravity well, more. It is pushing dark energy away, and in doing so, dark energy is pushing harder on the side with the least distortion. As the fields touch each other, it creates a path of least resistance, and the two objects are forced together by the stronger dark energy field on the side with less distortion, giving matter an attraction towards itself. It's dark energy that causes an attraction of matter towards itself.
All right, I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to bore people. I'm a little bit of a geek and I love this. It's interesting to me. I'm just gonna explain this. So everything in the universe that is attracted gravity-wise, everything that's repelled by dark energies pushed together. So what does that mean? Everything that ends up on a planet is everything that has some sort of a gravitational field that can't stay in space. This is why they lie to you about space, because everything that enslaves you is me, and everything that enslaves me is you, and the rocks and the dust and the asteroid dust. Everything that can fall into a gravity well has fallen into a gravity well in every universe, all over this whatever we're in. So everything that we need to be unenslaved by gravity is not here on land, it's not here on the planet, it's up there in space. Because that's how everything would be pushed together. So what does that mean? It means when your kings and lords go to space, they can't tell you a damn thing about what they find because probably most of it isn't affected by gravity. You know, and who told you about that? Bob Lazar and element, was it 115, 119, whatever it is? Unobtainium. So every human conflict is over energy. It's over gravity. It's over the fact that we are trapped here and all the laws are all written for money. What is money about? Energy, human labor. Everything goes back to very simple conflict being driven by people who control us. If your movement is not focused on economics, you don't have a movement. If your movement's not focused on energy, it's useless. Why? Because that's what all conflict is about. That's why you're being enslaved. That's why you're being oppressed. That's why you have a struggle. Focus on the economics of we are enslaved to energy, or you will never solve anything, ever. All right, I'm almost done. I gotta pee. Anybody gotta pee? I gotta pee. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come on here and yell at folks. I see all these posts and I see people and all their movements and their struggles, and it's just like, you don't seem to get how this works. There's only one way to fix all this. You stop fighting the low people on the totem pole. You stop fighting with poor people over what they don't have and what they did not do to you. You start fighting with the system that's orchestrated layer after layer after layer after layer of people who lied to you. That the only struggle on this planet has ever been the fact that we are trapped on this planet. That's the only struggle. No other struggle has any significance to the future of life on this planet at all. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna look at questions. I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta pee. Anybody gotta pee? Bernie's a super freak. Sheepless in Seattle said, Bernie is a shill like all the rest of them. He's higher up on the plantation. He needs a lot of slaves to stay where he is, and he confuses a lot of people to vote for him like he's significant. The same way as Clinton, Obama, Bush, Bernie, Macron, Putin, all of them, Trump, every last one of them. They're all people who are lost in a fantasy. They want you to believe in the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot and flying unicorns and purpley goo. That's what they want to do. They control your intellect, and they stay higher on the plantation because of it. Always listen to old dudes. Thank you, Brother Daniel. Tell them, always listen to old people. Always listen to old people. Old people, smart people. That's why they die now when we're in the 80s. When we used to live to be 800 years old, you got too smart. Yeah, somebody figured that out. Now we got fluoride and poison in the water. We're not eating from the food from the garden. We're not eating natural things. We don't eat herbs. So we die in our 50s now. Why? Because the older you get, the wiser you get. The older you get, the more you stop fighting Nazis. That's why the older you get, the more you stop fighting black people in the ghetto. The older you get, the more you stop fighting Russians and Chinese. The older you get, the more you focus on what really matters. The future of human life. Older you get, but it's young people, because young people are closer to the struggle, the given struggle by banks and corporations that control all the energy and the resources. They've always been making people, they have a way of making people disappear. Yes, Victoria, and focus on who disappeared. What did they know when they disappeared? That's who you got to think about. What did they know? What did Martin Luther King know when he disappeared? That we're all gonna die if we keep fighting each other. So he stopped fighting everybody and said, let's all get together. He wanted to work with the Vietnamese. He wanted to work with white folk. He wanted to work with everybody because he realized we're all being played. Same with the Black Panther in Chicago. He wanted to work with, he gave up on the whole Black Panther idea, said we need to work with the white nationalists. We need to get together with the KKK, and he hosted the meeting. When he stopped being stupid and fighting other poor people, wanted to get with the other poor people, unite and fix the damn planet, that's when they murdered him. Listen to what Brother Daniel said in Victoria. Old people know exactly what they're talking about, but we're stupid and we keep letting young people keep resetting their argument back to dumb things that don't work. Stop fighting for poor people. Every fight is about energy. Every struggle and all oppression is about keeping you oppressed. And you can put every black leader in charge that you want. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to enslave your black butt and your white butt. Why? Because everybody wants to rule the world. And it's about time you grow the hell up and figure that out. Everything is about control of human labor. Everything. At least until they got the robots, and then they don't need none of y'all. Then they'll murder all of us and throw us all in a hole. Grow up. Listen to the old people. When people die in their 80s, they say really smart things. Take that forward. Pick up the fight from where they left it off. Don't reset Martin Luther King back to step one. How stupid is that? That's dumb. Yes, I'm yelling at Black Lives Matter. Yeah, I'm yelling at you. Why? Because most of y'all are good people. I'm yelling at White Lives Matter too, because most of y'all are good people. Your brain works. You don't drink too much fluoride. You know how this works. Take your organization and push it forward. Get Black Lives Matter and White Lives Matter together and Blue Lives Matter and say, we're done with your fake conflicts. That's what you do. And it all ends. But you keep restarting everything to jump. And I'm like, no, you went back to the game lobby, you died, you figured out the secrets, and you started back over from step one. How many times are we gonna stop being a step one species? I'm tired of being a step one species. Can we be step two? Can we please at some point in time be step two? Can you at some point in time step up to somebody and say, no, dummy, you're leading the wrong way. I'm not gonna follow you because you're stupid. You want me to start at step one. I'm tired of step one. I got kids, I got nieces, I got nephews, and I don't want them dealing with the same dumb conflicts we've been dealing with for 1,000 damn years. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna breathe. I got pee. Anybody got pee? Hey, Susie, how you doing, sister? That's why I said I feel like I say the same things over and over, and it's like nobody's listening. And I'm not saying anything important like smart that I just figured something out. I didn't figure anything out. I look back at history and say, did y'all know what they said in history? Did y'all study the Farmers Alliance? Did y'all know what the Egyptians said? Did anybody listen to Albert? You know that they didn't figure all this stuff out, right? They didn't figure it all out, right? They didn't seen the UFOs too. They seen the anti-gravity. None of this is real. Y'all know they didn't figure it out. It's not me. I'm not smart. I'm just waiting to die because we stupid. I'm just sitting back waiting like, we're going to die. We're all going to die. Y'all know what y'all about to kill us. Every time I see a post, they just, oh, Bernie, 2020. Oh, here come Oprah. Oh, here come the next one. Here comes Elizabeth Warren. Here come, we're going to put Trump back in it. I'm just like, y'all, you know that none of these people actually know what the hell is going on. And if they do, they're lying to you because they just want to stay in power. None of them like you. None of them like your kids. They want to be the oppressor. All of them. Every last one of them. They're like, back to Africa, G. And I'm like, whoa, now ain't no back to Africa, back to nothing. Because if Shaka Zulu ruled the world, I'd be serving him. I'm tired of serving. Ain't you damn tired of carrying trays for somebody? Huh? Aren't you? Why is it better we're the white man. So you want the black man to whoop you? Is that gonna feel better? It's gonna feel better. It's gonna feel better. Okay. All right. Stop. Please stop. Please stop. I don't want to die, had to come back and like relearn all this. Because I may not learn it by the time I'm 40. I may take till I'm 60. We die, come back and step -1. Like -1, let's fight. And I'm like, no, stop. You're being played by the system. Every solution you need needs to address the economics. If you don't address the economics of energy and money, you're not going to actually fix the problem. Every movement dies on that. Every last one. Because they think it's about racism. And it's just like, y'all know the racism is just a tool, right? You know, it's just a division tool. It's just, it's not real. They just make it. It is a fantasy argument. It is something that is completely 100% unprovable. It is not an argument to say a police officer is racist, because you can't prove a police officer is racist. Why? Because everybody's racist. How your brain works. It's perception. You look at something, you make a decision based on what you see and what you know. And if you don't know a whole lot about that thing, you have fear. Why? Because you don't spend any time with it. You can't prove racism. Everybody's racist. You can prove that the laws are socioeconomically oppressive. You can prove that, because that's the whole purpose of the 13th Amendment. They say that was to get black people. No, it wasn't. Lincoln didn't go down to save black people in the South. Lincoln went down to get the money for slavery. He wanted the tax dollar. And once they got down there, the whites in the North and the whites in the South said, yeah, we're going to end slavery. And he said, okay, but we're going to write the 13th Amendment. What does that mean? It means the poorest people are going to stay slaves. And it so happened that the poorest people at the time were still black people, Africans, so they stayed slaves. Guess what? You had a lot of poor whites that joined them too. Now you got it today. And now you can start to see how the 13th Amendment works. Speak from that perspective. It doesn't matter who the poorest people are. What matters is oppression is wrong. Wrong. So they give you the name Black Lives Matter because they don't want the white folks to fight with you. They want them to fight you. They know that you can't prove the police are racist, so the black leaders tell you the police are racist. Why? Because they're higher on the plantation and they make money from careers and books selling this stuff. I don't know why I got to keep saying this to people. You don't see how the sellouts are playing you. Every single time they're higher on the mountain. Stop judging people by the color of their skin. Everything is about energy. Everything. It's all about energy and economics. If you don't resolve that everybody is on your side, you will always lose. No, it's not a Sunday sermon, Lori. I'm sorry. I was young. I pull a Brother Chris. Did I pull a Brother Chris Lewis? I'm not preaching. I'm not preaching to anybody. I'm no preacher. I don't know nothing. I am repeating what the old people said. Brother Daniel said it. Trust old people. Trust the old people. They've been here long enough and they've seen it played out. Oh, thank you, Lord Pings allowed, but I can't because the way everything's set up, if I get up, that's all over. I get up, the TR3B is gonna fall, and you see the green screen and stuff. I can't get up. When I pee, it's over. I gotta pee. So this is almost over. So let's get the last couple comments. I'm gonna get out of here. Yes, Susie. Yes, Sister Susie. Energy and economics. As long as there is a system in place for poor people to go to prison, we will put poor people in prison, and it doesn't matter their skin color, doesn't matter if they're immigrants, doesn't matter what religion there are. We're always going to put the poor people in prison. Fight the oppressive system, fight the economics of it, don't fight the people. Don't fight the low police on the totem pole. We'll always lose. Everything is about energy and human conflict and economics. Everything. The world run by women will be just as evil as a world run by men. A world run by black people will be just as evil as a world run by white people, because the problem isn't the white people or the black people or the men or the women. The problem is we put psychopaths at the top and we trust them. And anytime you trust people, they turn on you. If you trust me, I'm gonna turn on you. I'm gonna turn on you. If you tell me, like, you know what, let's get together and let's make G head of the CIA, the FBI, the MI6, and in charge of the TS3B program, I'd be like, y'all know the TS3B doesn't exist. It don't exist. It doesn't exist. Why? Because I'm not great. I'm a human being. There's something about power that corrupts us, and we become dirty when we have it. I'll start thinking, oh, I can save the world. I know if I just keep TS3RB secret for a little bit longer, if I can't keep anti-gravity secret for just a little longer, I can save everybody. Because that's what I really think. I do. I think the Rockefellers think that they're helping. I think the Rothschilds think that they're helping. I think Double Bill was true, and he was true to who he was. They think that they're helping, and they're not. You can't have power over other people. That's just what it comes down to. You're an adult. You don't need a leader. I don't need to lead you. That's stupid. That's just dumb. That's dumb. I don't know you. I don't know your fears, your pains. I don't know what you need. The only thing I'm saying is we all need to work together in movements of no leaders to fix the problem. Focus on the energy and the economics. We are fighting each other because of gravity. Because everything that's affected by gravity is on this planet. All the rocks, the minerals, the people, the everything. And we're trapped and we're locked in this gravitational pull with each other. They've solved the problems. They're going to go be the kings and lords of whatever they can. And they keep us fighting with each other. All right. That makes sense to anybody? Does that sound crazy? The TSR-3B is, I keep saying it wrong. It's real. They have anti-gravity. They just don't want to share it with you, and they don't have to share it with you because you keep talking about Bernie. You keep talking about politics. You keep talking about Clinton. You keep talking about the football game. You keep talking about the cats. You keep talking about all the cute puppy things and Honey Boo Boo, and you keep talking about this, and you keep talking about the white lives that matter and the black lives that matter. You keep talking about the Confederate flag and the Dixie, the flag scares. You keep talking about the Russians trying to come and kill you, and Putin don't give two damns about you, and he's in league with your government. Keep talking about everything that does not matter to economics and energy. And we're all going to die. I know, Brother Dan, I'm about to pee on myself. I got to get out of here. I haven't done a Saturday talk in a minute, so I wanted to talk about it. I was looking at it. I was just like, at a certain point in time, Daniel, I get frustrated. I'm like, why are y'all still talking politics? I mean, y'all need to be shaming them. I can't do that. This is what I'm saying. There's no leaders. And I appreciate y'all tagging me, and I'll go and I'll talk to anybody I can. But you got to do it too. You got to go to their threads and ask them, why are you still talking about Obama? Why are you still talking about Trump? Why are you still talking about Bernie? None of them have access to know how this world actually works. They're all little people on the totem pole. You know, you got to do it. I can't do it. I'm about to pee on myself. I got to pee on myself. I don't have my diaper on. All right, let me see. I'm looking at comments and I am going to get out of here. You are a king of your castle. Yes, Elizabeth. Everybody's a king of their own castle. You're a queen of your own castle. You always are. Nobody needs to be the boss of you. Nobody's the boss of me. Where my little girl at? Where my little girl at? I love this little girl. I'm going to tell mama, you supposed to be the boss of you. You the boss of you. Gerard ain't the boss of you. The Democrats ain't the boss of you. Politics ain't the boss of you. Nations ain't the boss of you. You the boss of you. Where's she at? I got her in somewhere. I love pulling people out because she always got to tell on somebody. She got to have somebody telling. Go tell Republican Jesus that y'all need to be the boss of you. Where's she at? Oh, there go Linda. I didn't want Linda. Here she go. I'm telling, damn it. You got a TR3B and anti-gravity energy. I'm telling mama. Then when she run tell mama, what's mama gonna do? Mama gonna spank you because you got anti-gravity and you starting wars and you trying to build pipelines in Syria and you're not trying to help anybody. It's time to spank your politician, not to clap for him, not to elect him, not to vote for him. It's time to spank all of them. Thank you, Brother Gown. Rick, exactly. I don't even know what Rick is. I didn't know what Rick is. Brother Gown, I seen you post that like 8 times. I was like, yeah, Rick. Because Brother Gown is my brother, and I know you don't say stuff that ain't true. You say stuff exactly how you see it. I'm like, RIC, everybody. I don't even know what RIC is. I don't watch the news. I have no idea. Somebody tell me what RIC. So I know next time y'all post RIC, I know what that. I don't know what that is. Somebody tell on RIC. What is that? We all owe a death. We all owe a death, Brother Daniel. We all live for each other or we all die for each other. That's it. We all live for each other or we all die for each other. Yes, Lori, we are born to die. We are born and we're gonna die. The question is whether or not we're gonna do what matters while we're here, or we're just gonna try to collect things for ourselves. We're gonna try to get things for the purple people. We're gonna try to get things for the yellow people. Or we're gonna do our part. so that the world is a better place in the future. Yes, what is RIC? Thank you, Anna, because I wasn't the only one. It feel good not to be the only one. It feel good. Thank you, Anna. Anna, thank you for being honest and truthful. It's good to be honest. I feel better. I'm not the only one. What is it? It's the referendum initiated by the citizens. RIC, the yellow vest. Okay, you Lori. Thank you, Lori. Because Gown is kind of deep. Sometimes he'll say stuff just to make me feel stupid because I don't know. He'll post something. He could have just said yellow vest. He didn't want to say that because he knew I didn't know what RIC was. Oh, man. And laugh at yourself, people. Laugh at yourself. You don't know everything. It's okay. It's okay not to know everything. I don't know everything. That's why I travel with these people. That's why I go deep. I go deep with these people because they know these things I don't know. You know, and they'll come on my feed, start lying. Go ahead, come on over and start talking. How come nobody posts about Bernie on my feed anyway? I see y'all posting on your feeds. Come post on my feed. See what they say to you. Come on by my feed, start posting about how Trump is fighting the deep state. I think it's funny. But anyway, I travel deep because you don't know everything. You never will know everything. Always travel with a wide, diverse group of people. That's right, damn it. Got my white nationalists behind me. I got the Crips and the Bloods too. I got some Black Panthers on my feed. I got all of them. I got some people from Gaza on my feed, and I got people from Israel. I got people on all sides. If you start lying, I got people from Ghana. I got people from Congo. I got people from Puerto Rico. I got people from all over the world on my feed. Just watching, just waiting for you to lie about something. The whole time they're just waiting right there just to see you and lie about something about in their country, in their nation, or what's happening with their political party or religion. I got Hindus, I got Muslims, I got Christians, I got Buddhists, I got people that believe in Republican Jesus, I got people that believe in Democrat Jesus, I got people who grew up in poor environments, in the black areas, I got people who grew up in the poor Hispanic areas, I got people walking towards the border, I got people who grew up poor whites, I got all kind of people. So come on my feet, start lying about something. Come on and start making something up. Telling me why you the worst victims and we gotta all get together and you be the victims. No. Leaders are always playing you on victim mentality. And it's just stupid because they don't have to. They got the energy. They can share the anti-gravity with you any day they want. But you're too stupid and you believe that you're a victim, so you take on the victimhood and you go start marching for yourself, ignoring everybody else. People, we are all the same creature. We are all the same creature. Let me see. Me too. So happy. You gotta be happy, Carolyn. Yeah. Well, yeah. If that's what you're saying, you just gotta smile. You just gotta smile and just be okay. We all gonna die. We're not really here. You know, we have the atomic mass that can fit on the head of a pin. We're not really here. That's why all this anti-gravity and all this stuff makes sense. I don't even believe in nothing supernatural, Carolyn. I don't believe in supernatural anymore. I think everything's natural. I don't believe in supernatural. Because if we're not really here and our atomic mass is like this and everything else is just a wave energy, and we know the wave and gravity and electromagneticity, it all works together, then there's nothing we can't do. Did Jesus really walk on water? Of course, because Jesus really wasn't here. His whole body was about this big. Hell yeah, that can float on water. You seen a cork and a bobber, they can float on water too. So of course Jesus can if he can figure out how to control the waves that his body actually was. That's why quantum physics is so important. Atomic studies are so important. When you realize that there ain't no supernatural, that all of this stuff is real, they just lie to it and they hide it from you. It'll make you view the world differently. That's why I don't view the world the same way I used to. I view the world completely different. Completely different. Because we're always lied to about what this world really is. Yes, thank you, Keisha. We are one human race. We are one race. There only is one race. There are no subhumans. There are no sub-races. We are one human race, and everybody in the human race matters. Every little baby is just as important as every other little baby, because you don't know the next Nikola Tesla, what color its skin is going to be. You don't know what poor area it's going to grow up. You don't know what country it's going to be born. Like I said, we in big trouble if the next kid that's born that can make plasma energy is born in the Congo. We all gonna die. We're gonna die quick. That baby gonna grow up, learn how to make some plasma energy, and it's gonna eviscerate the entire West. We all gonna die. Why oil and wars? Let me see. Why oil and wars run us? Well, Lori, oil and wars run us because we believe in Bernie Sanders. That's what. I'm so mad at y'all Bernie loving people. I love my Bernie exodus, the Bernie followers. I don't understand why you have adult idolatry. I don't get it. That's why, because Bernie takes the money for war. And so did Obama, and so did Clinton, and so does Trump. Why does Trump take money? I don't know if he takes money, but I know Trump's not there for me because Trump is a billionaire and Trump doesn't give nothing about poor whites. And Trump can't give anything damn about poor blacks because anybody who grew up around rich people know that they don't care about anybody but themselves. And they sell it well. But I'm okay with Trump being there because it looks like the media doesn't like him. And I don't like the media. Look like the Republicans don't like him. I don't like the Republicans. Like the Democrats don't like him. I don't like the Democrats. If everybody I don't like, everybody lying to me about oil, energy, and war, and the TSR-3B Aurora doesn't like Trump, he can't be as bad as what y'all make out. Temporarily. Temporarily. Because Trump wants to rule the world too, just like I do. Same brain in my head is in his head. You give him too much power, he's going to kill you like Shaka Zulu and everybody else. You don't need any leaders, people. You don't need leaders. You don't need to be led. You are an adult. Pull your panties or your drawers up one leg at a time. Take the trainer diaper off and be yourself. I can't pee in a cup. Actually, Daniel, I can't. I did that. All right, I'm going to tell y'all. Can I tell y'all a secret? I'm going to tell y'all a secret. I was once doing an interview. I had to pee. I just went here to pee. The person was talking. I did, because y'all can't see what. I could probably do it right here. You wouldn't even know. I wouldn't, because I became a master of pee, Daniel. I know how to do it, and this is my male privilege. I know everybody got privilege, y'all. Everybody's a victim. Everybody's got fragility, and everybody's got privilege. I got male privilege. I can just do what I want to do, and you would never know. You would never know. Back when I was chasing money, and I was driving, what did I do? Daniel, I was an aerial, it was about, I don't know if I was doing aerial photography or meat. Back when I was in college, and I had to drive in between each house, I had a frame and a photo, like an aerial photo of their house I had to sell. And I had about 2 minutes between each house. And I used to drive a stick sports car. So I was driving my stick sports car and I had a frame in this hand and I had a picture in this hand. I had to put the picture in there and I had to use the bathroom. But I maximized efficiencies, right? Because energy and economics. I wanted to make as much money as I could. So I had to pee on the go. But I'm not set up for that. I'm not doing that right now. People are like, he about to pee. He about to pee. He gonna pee. We gonna see him pee. If he drop the camera, you gonna see pee go everywhere. It's gonna be hilarious. Nah, I ain't peeing. I ain't doing it. Because I done told you. I told you I ain't doing it. Nope, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Nope, not gonna happen. Plus, they probably shut me off anyway. Like, what he talking about? Is he talking about UFOs and the aliens and pee? It's all related, y'all. It's all related. I'm trying to tell you. And if you don't see, I just linked that together. I tried to make as much money as I could going to college. Why? Because I wanted to go to college, make some money, work for a big corporation, support oil war, and get higher on the plantation than you and your kids so I can make more money and have more power than y'all. Why? Because I'm trapped on a planet. They're lying about the TSR-3B. And as long as they're lying about that, I need to make energy. So P maximized my efficiencies, which means that I didn't have to go and stop in the car and I can make as much money as I would. So yes, bladder ties to pee. This is the TSR-3B right here. Stay on topic. All right, I'm sorry. Y'all need to hurry and get these last couple questions because I gotta go. Exactly, Laura, pee on the go. Every trucker knows that. You think truckers stop to pee in truck stops? No. Truckers stop to get eggs and coffee. They don't stop to pee. They pee while they're driving. Yes, they're driving 8-ton vehicles on the road peeing. Yes, that's why they're putting the automatic driving trucks on the road soon, because the trucks run everybody off the road and kill everybody. Why? Because of UFOs and aliens and pee. That's how it all relates, people. Stay focused. It's not about Bernie, it's about pee. Oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, y'all gonna make me pee. Stop it. Ow, uh-oh, got a little bit. Hold on, wait, no, no. All right, I'm done. All right, ask the last couple questions. I gotta get out of here. Oh my God, I can't believe how y'all did that. But that's the 3SRB right there. Y'all blame Brother Daniel. You on here, you one of my Republican Jesus, Republican people. Blame Daniel. He just started the whole P thing. He tied P to aliens. I don't know what's wrong with the brother. The brother, he just got things in his head. But this is the TSRB right here, y'all. Y'all need to focus on it. Works on electromagnetic, I can't even say it. P bubbling up in my throat. Electromagnetic gravitic drive, right? Anti-gravity, it's a thing. Why? Because gravity's a thing. If they got weightlessness people floating in space when they lied to you about the moon and everything else, and everybody seeing all these things, of course, gravity's a thing because anti-gravity is a thing, and all the things work together. Everything is an ecosystem, everything's interrelated, and I don't know what oh, you know what this is right here? I saw this, I thought this was interesting. Right here, y'all see this right here? Let me go down. I wanted to show you the anti-gravity stuff, but I got to pee, so I'll talk about that another day. Oh, goodness Lord. Woo. You get old. How come your bladder gets smaller when you get old? But anyway, this is supposed to be, if you look at it on Wikipedia, it says it's an inflatable space habitat. Ain't no habitat. Ain't no habitat. You think somebody get together and sew seams that look like that here in the corner? See how the seams got right angles? I know people who sew. They wouldn't do that. That's dumb. You can make one big thing out of fabric. Why it's got all these compartmentals? Every seam you see there's a point for failure. It's a lie. You know what comes up when I put this in? This comes up when I do a search for TRS3B. Go ahead and do it, and this comes up. Because on Wikipedia, they're lying. That is not an inflatable space habitat. That's some bull. What that is, that's the thing that Bob Lazar talked about. Let me see if I can find it for you. Where they put the metallic substance that creates the anti-gravity that flows around in a circle based on the gravitic waves. That's actually what that is. And they're lying to you. Hold on, let me see if I can show this to you. I got to pee, but I might show this to you. Let me see if I can find this. What video was this on? And he explained it. The TSR3B. This is a real thing. All right, y'all got me going. Hold on, wait. We got a recession. We got a pee recession. Hold on, let's keep going. We're going to keep going. We got a pee recession. I want to keep talking about it. Hold on.
That creates gravity.
We're back up.
Modern science, current science right now, identifies one gravity. It's one force in nature. Apparently, through research at S4 or information gained from one of the crafts they were researching there, it appears that there are two different forms of gravity. One form works on an atomic scale, on subatomic particles, holding pieces of matter, holding atoms themselves together. Another works on a larger scale, the scale we're most familiar with.
Let's go forward.
Holding planets in orbit.
Make these three little sort of hops going to the side, and then as the camera followed it, just went straight up and disappeared outside.
Eyewitness.
Recently gained access to a highly classified air show where the featured hardware of the event was real flying saucers.
Okay, right. This was the whistleblower. He was accidentally invited to the wrong air show. If you've ever been to an air show, I used to go to the Andrews Air Force Base shows. And how do I know that the direct energy weapons are actually a real thing? Because when I went to the Air Force show, they actually had a picture of the, what was it, C-141, and they had the laser mounted on the front, and they had the videos playing. And so as a kid in the Boy Scouts and Civil Air Patrol, I knew that they had lasers back then that they were shooting missiles with. So that's how I know they got, and then we had Reagan in the Star Wars. So I know, but this guy, actually, they invited him to the wrong air show, and I don't think it was an accident. This remember I keep telling you, the weakness in all of this is that every organization is run by human beings. Every organization, they're full of human beings, all of them. And so human beings, every now and then we screw up. We get the TPS report, we send the TRP report instead. We misspell things, we've got the grammar wrong. Last name was Jonathan, and you spelled Jonathan with a Y instead of an A, and got the wrong guy at the air show. And he saw this, all the quiet whistleblowers who work on it. Right? And so he sees it, he comes forward, the people who work on it come forward, the cavemen come forward, the Aborigines come forward, the Aztecs come forward, the Egyptians come forward, the Hindus came forward, everybody came forward. And you don't believe it. Y'all better stop talking about peeing. I'm telling you, this is about to end right now. Y'all don't stop with the pee, it's about to end right now. Because I wasn't thinking about it, and now y'all talking about it, and I got pee again. See, this is about to end. I was trying to show y'all something, but y'all want this.
They were really strange looking, but appeared functional, and were named to suggest anti-gravity and reverse-engineered alien technology. An official presence stated they could travel faster than light. Despite their futuristic performance capabilities, these appeared to be stripped-down, road-worn working prototypes, which had seen practical operation for years. If this were the case, they were crude but tangible proof of concept for a staggering leap in aviation technology. They used extremely advanced electromagnetic or field propulsion. Electromagnetic or field propulsion. Electromagnetic or field propulsion. Electromagnetic or field propulsion. As opposed to solid or jet fuel, nuclear power, or any other commonly known conventional means. It also meant our government and at least one other major defense contractor, Lockheed Martin, had been developing and deploying functional systems along these lines for many years.
And he just sat down, and right where we were sitting there at his table, he just kind of sketched out with an ink pen on a piece of legal-size white paper, and put some some little handwritten call-outs around the edges that described, the number of capacitor plates in each one of the little sections, that there were, they were so wide at the end, and the crew compartment was definitely about 12 feet in diameter. Just kind of put all these things down as close as he could remember to the way they existed.
This was called the flux liner.
This is probably the strangest one you've shown me yet. This actually flies?
It actually flies on the principles of high voltage electrical charges.
Alicia Davidson described being escorted into the engine room and seeing the propulsion system components. And it involved a central column that was made of a transparent glass-like material. And she said there was a silvery fluid that was spiraling upward at the bottom of this column. Down in kind of this well that was in the center of the spacecraft was this little tiny flywheel-like mechanism spinning, which matched the ARB also. And this is at a point when this young lady had never seen any of the drawings that I'd done, what the ARB was structured like. I was just talking about propulsion components in general. But then she said that when you looked across this little well, this lowered floor area in the center of the room, was like a guardrail around it. She stood there. So you could look across, and she said it looked like that below the deck she was standing on was this glass-like material with these coils of wire going through it. And they were spaced out in the same proportions as the ones on the URV. The thing that she said that was most significant was that the column itself was rotating in one direction, and the flywheel was spinning in the opposite direction. There was counter-rotation, which is something that's often been reported in UFO sightings. You see components on the craft that are spinning in opposite directions.
Back here on Earth, the scientific community has been busy since the end of the Industrial Revolution. There have been dozens, perhaps hundreds of US and international patents dealing directly with electrokinetics and electrogravitics, going back to the turn of the last century. It would be safe to assume private industry and the military have also been working on a great deal of related applications off the public record. In short, since Nikola Tesla's first experiments with pushing electricity around, mankind has had a thing for anti-gravity.
Ooh, Lord, okay. What'd I miss?
I find it really remarkable that there's so much similarity between the two objects.
Mm-hmm. And when is that patent from?
May 30th, 1967. It's called a magnetohydrodynamic.
All right, so he explained it, so y'all know what that is. Y'all see it? Whew. All right, that was good. Yeah, and I washed my hands, unlike Harsh. Y'all don't remember that one? I did a drinking cast with Harsh, and he had to pee. I had to move my shirt down because you can't see the shirt. It's got one of the murdery companies on the base of it, and I don't believe. When I was a kid, we used to put tape on the labels because big corporations shouldn't exist. All right. Any questions? That's what that is. But anyway, that's not a space bladder. That's not for people to go live in. That's to keep you stupid and not realize that they got electromagnetic gravitic ships. And when they flew over Phoenix, Arizona and Denmark and the UK, and thousands of people looked at that flying triangle, that 3STRB thing, that you wouldn't believe it existed, right? That's the whole point, is to keep people stupid so you don't believe they exist. As long as you don't believe they exist, then they can lie to you about anything. And then people say, how come there are no pictures? And the picture, the online is full of pictures everywhere. But that's kind of the problem. I don't actually think that they're aliens. I believe they're whistleblowers. I think the aliens have always come here. I think they've always been coming here. I think they're always going to keep coming here. But they don't want to invade you. They don't care. And here's a good example. Here's a question. Do you go to your local zoo and invade it? When's the last time you invaded the zoo? When's the last time you ran, jump in the monkey cage and started chaining monkeys up? Did you ever do that? When's the last time you ran and jumped in with the pigeons and started throwing them in cages? You didn't do that. You just knew that's the zoo. That's where all the creatures that haven't figured out gravity are kept. We'll just go by and look at them. We'll eat some potato chips and some popcorn, take some pictures, and we'll get the hell out of there. But you don't go land and go invade and talk to them. Aliens aren't invading us, and they never will. They don't give a damn. They never did, and they never will. They might land and teach us some science. They might land and teach us some mathematics. Why? Because the zoo is more interesting. It's more interesting when we have some of these things, right? But they're not going to invade. If anything ever comes to invade, it's your government in these anti-gravitic crafts pretending that they're aliens. That was in what another whistleblower said. Said they lied to you about what the about the power that they have, that they were putting together some sort of a false flag to get people to believe that aliens were invading. Aliens aren't invading. That's your government. They're going to lie to you. They're going to blow up a bunch of houses to get you in a conflict. Why? To keep you believing, to keep you worshiping them, because they want to be God. That's man looked up, he saw the gods, he saw the heavens, and after that, he's always pretended to be. They play you on your intellect time and time and time and time again. These things are real. They're real, and probably for the first time in the history of the human race, we actually got the information to know that we're always being played. Does that make sense? Ooh, I feel better. Okay. Are we done? Are we done? We talked about everything. TRSA 3B, aliens. Anybody got any questions? All human conflict is just about energy and resources. Energy specifically. It's always about keeping you fighting with somebody else. Every topic, every struggle, every oppression, all mass incarceration, war on drugs, all the wars, everything goes back to not telling you and keeping you focused on anything but energy. That's it. They want you to fight with other poor people over energy. Is that okay? Does that make sense? He's not an AI. Lori, no, I'm not an AI. Dude pees. Yeah, I did pee. Right, Dan. And this is your fault, by the way. Everybody blamed Daniel. That's why I had to walk away. I saw the last comment. It's like, everybody's peeing but you. Gee, everybody wouldn't pee. We good. And the older you get, how come your bladders get smaller when you get older? I want a big bladder. Anyway, all right, we're not going back down to pee. Pee done. Pee done. No more pee. Let me see. Hey, Willow, glad you caught me live. Willow, my good friend, welcome. All right, so are we done? I know it's starting to wrap up. We were talking about alien technology, Willow. Actually, we're talking about human technology, the lion humans. That's what we were talking about. And it doesn't matter where they got it from, if they got it from aliens or if they got it from Nikola Tesla, or it doesn't matter where they got it from. The point is they got it. And as long as they got it, they keep us fighting over everything but it. The fact that they keep us all starved. They keep us all fighting over resources, and no movement means anything. No struggle actually is important. The only thing that's important is we're being lied to all the time to fight each other. And I'm just tired of fighting people. I'm tired. I'm done with the fight. I got a lot of friends, they love to fight, and they're still fighting. I'm not fighting. I'm walking away. Whew. All right, we done? Did we hit everything? What's happening on YouTube? I'm going to tell God I kick butt. Yeah, I hope so, Sheep. Let's keep kicking butt. Keep kicking butt for the right things. Be a patriot to the human race. Be a patriot to the planet. Be a patriot to your species. Be a patriot to that. Don't be a patriot to a country. Don't be a patriot to a flag. Don't be a patriot to an anthem. Don't be a patriot to a race. Don't be a patriot to a religion, because all those things are always taken over by psychopaths, and you're not a patriot to those things anyway, because somebody else always runs them for energy, for resources, for control, and for power. Let me see. Now you know why old people drink scotch. Yes, exactly, Elizabeth. I want to go drink some scotch right now. This is why. I think the older you get, the more your brain starts to consolidate, the bigger the database gets, the more your experiences make you stop believing in all of this bull. It makes you stop believing in unicorns and mermaids and start really believing in unicorns and mermaids. Well, it gets you to stop believing in the leaders, unicorns and mermaids. Start get you believing in the real ones, like, you know, mermaids might be real. I don't think the sailors are, I don't think they're lying. I don't know. I believe anything, y'all. I believe anything as long as the government doesn't say it. The government says mermaids aren't real. I start thinking, you know what, the mermaids might be real. There might be some mermaids. Because you think about all the sailors, you think they all went out there, came back lying about some mermaids. That don't make no damn sense. Why are they seeing women with fins swimming in the ocean? Then you start looking at the Kepler radar data, start to realize that planets all over, and almost all the planets have oceans, and if almost every damn planet, even in our solar system, they all got oceans, that the biggest ocean on our planet is actually under our planet. You start to realize life has more potential in ocean than it does on land. Then you start thinking about Aquaman. And they just ask the government, hey, government, are the mermaids real? And they say, nope, mermaids ain't real. And I'm like, okay, the mermaids probably real, yo. But not your mermaids, not your Syria pipeline mermaids, not your oil mermaids, not your fossil fuel mermaids, not that mermaid that we can't afford your health care, you gotta die. You know, not that. Not that. Even the wall too. I don't believe in none of it. I don't believe in none of the government's mermaids. I believe in the real mermaids. I believe in the plausible mermaids. The ones that actually make sense from astrophysics perspective and biology, not from your government's lying mass media perspective to get me to go fight with other people over oil. All right. Yes, Daniel, you are a madman. You have to be a madman. If you're a sane man in a mad world, that means you're something wrong with you. So you need to be a madman. Every generation thinks they discovered sex and music. I know, right, Rebecca? Like, look, we got a new way of doing something. It's something new under the sun. Like, you put this here and you get that day. We're not talking about sex. But like, yeah, it's like, no, it's not new. No, we used to do that. We used to do all that. And if you didn't do it, the Egyptians did it. If they didn't do it, you go back to the Sanskrit text and the ancient, the Indians, the texts would showing the positions and say, yeah, they all didn't do it. You didn't invent no music. Nope, you didn't do it. You didn't invent the harp. Nope, you didn't do the guitar. You know, they found a hammer in rock. They found a hammer in, I think it was coal or rock. Now, you didn't invent that either. There's nothing new under the sun. Your scriptures told you that. There ain't nothing new. We just keep resetting because we're stupid and we keep cheering Bernies. All right. I picked on Bernie. No, I'm going to stop picking on Bernie. It's just everybody keeps posting it. And whatever you post most about what I'm supposed to believe in, then that's the thing that you believe in most. Then that's the underoos that we need to shatter. We need to shatter that disbelief. We got a world to save. Let me see. Will I provide a link? Daniel, what you want a link for? Stop, Gerard. I want to stop. Stop, Gerard. I want to start from the beginning. Was Susie the beginning? I know. All right. You want me? Susie wants y'all. She want me to stop. I'm about to stop. I'm done. I didn't pee. I think I said everything I got to say. I'll just do a wrap up, let you go back to the beginning. But that's the whole point. From the beginning of time, man looked up. He said, what the hell is that, Ubuntu? I don't know, but it's floating. You think one day we might float on Ubuntu? Yeah, one day we might float, but not today. I don't think we're going to figure that out today. Damn it, we got to invent the wheel first, then we got to invent politics and government and kings and lords. We got to go through that, invent the cart, and once we do the car and the gasoline engine, then we'll get to some electromagnetic gravitic Ubuntu. But until then, but everything man conceives, he achieves. So we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure out how to be the big G gods, and we're gonna rule. We're gonna rule, and they rule. Because that's just how the world works. How the world works. All right, do last couple comments, and I'm gonna get out of here. Woo! All right. Uh-oh. Last couple comments and I'm gonna roll. Last couple comments and I'm gonna roll. I think I hit everything, right? Talk about everything. TRSR. I'll put all the links for all the videos. You can see the whistleblower stuff and everything. Just remember, electromagnetic gravitics is real. All social struggle is about energy. Every movement has to address the economics of the problem, or the movement's pointless. We live in a crony world. Everybody above you, all your leaders will always sell you out when you give them a blind following. The TSR-3B is real because the government says it isn't, and you've got 900 whistleblowers who say it's real. They have electromagnetic gravitic devices they just don't want to share. We can feed everybody on the planet. We're not overpopulated. We're nowhere near overpopulated. The government owns 80% of the land in Nevada, and the billionaires own the rest. We got plenty of land. We can take care of everybody. We can 3D print houses. We can grow hemp. We can do everything we want to do. We just don't have the love to make it happen. When we have the love to make it happen and we take away their secrets, then we can build a new world. Until then, we're going to fight each other because you got purple toenails and I got blue. We're going to keep acting dumb and unsentient and de-evolved, fighting in struggles, fighting the little low man on the totem pole struggles and never get anywhere. Hammer and a rock from the dates back 300,000 years. Yes, Susan, exactly. Thank you. Oh, that was the link that Daniel wanted. Yeah, you can post the link. There are videos on it. You can see the hammer. They found a bowl in coal. They were digging in some mine, like almost quarter of a mile under the planet, and they found a wall. Somebody built a wall and put it quarter of a mile under the planet. Yeah. We're the first species on this planet. Your God told you this is the last time I'm gonna destroy the planet by flood, but Gilgamesh told you floods before that Noah had some floods. The Egyptians said the floods and the asteroids and fire came at least 12 times, and we were knocked back in technology and brought forward. People then went to my friend. She looked at the camera, the pictures from the moon, and said there's structures on the moon. My friend Donna Hare, you know, there's structures on the moon. They're destroyed, they're ruined. Some look new because they're up there building stuff. They got ships that can go light speed or faster in time. And that's here's the scary part. The scary part isn't that they have ships that can fly into space. That's not the scary part. The scary part is they shut down the space program. They don't send up the space shuttle no more. They didn't make a new one and you didn't figure it out. That's the scary part. They didn't shut down, decommissioned all the space shuttles. Oh, well, you know, we don't want to go into space anymore. We're kind of done with this whole space thing. It's just a bunch of dust and rocks and asteroids. We don't want to go up there anymore. It's like, you believe that? You believe that? That's like colonizers going back to Britain, England, France. Like, you know what? We don't want to go to the New World anymore. It's nothing over there. It's just no, they're still going there. They just got a better way of getting there they don't want to tell you about, and they don't want to keep paying for no damn space shuttle. The scary part, the bigger scary part, bigger than that, is when you start to listen to Einstein. And when you start to listen to Nikola Tesla, that these electromagnetic gravitic devices, they affect gravity. Gravity affects time. That's the scary part. The scary thing isn't they got ships that can go the speed of light and go into space. The scary part is they got ships that are possibly affecting time. Gotta get you. What's the name of that ship? The ship that disappeared. It was in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia experiment, the USS, I forgot what it was, and all the soldiers came and said that the sailor said, yep, the ship disappeared and it reappeared and people were locked into the walls and things of the ship. It's crazy stuff, but you better look it up on the internet. It's not crazy as you think. Your inventors, the people they said were crazy, they died, poor people. They told you about it a long time ago, and right after Nikola Tesla died, then all of this magical stuff starts happening that he said that he could do, and now the government is doing it, and the sailors and whistleblowers are telling you about it, and you're like, no, they didn't do it, and Nikola Tesla told you about it, and Einstein, come on, man, come on, your intellect can't be that slow. The scary part is they're messing with time. That's the scary part. I think that they're in realms and doing stuff that they shouldn't be messing in. They're doing things that are affecting us and our children in ways, and we have no idea because we're still too stupid to allow our kings and lords to have secrets. It is scary, Elizabeth. That is the scary part, is that we don't question it. We know, and we don't question it. That's why I don't know that, Elizabeth, we have evolved yet. That's why I'm not sure if we're supposed to make it. That's why I don't know if we're supposed to be in space. Maybe we are supposed to go extinct. Maybe we are supposed to be destroyed because our brains haven't evolved to be smart enough yet to stop questioning leaders, to stop, I think eventually when we evolve and adults actually want to be adults and they want to make their own decisions, they don't need leaders and they realize they can't have secrets, then I think we get to make it. Short of that, I don't think nothing wants us in space and nothing should let us up there. And damn sure we shouldn't be messing with no time. All energy is spirit medicine. Absolutely, I totally agree, Brother Daniel. Good morning, Brother Mark. Walk, walk. How the chickens? All right. Going to a pastime would be great. Well, I think they do, Lori, but it's not for us. It's not for us. It's not for us. The leaders of the black movement, the white movement, the purple movement, the Hispanic movement, the Americans and the Russians, they all go back in time. It's not going to be for the black people, the white people, the purple people, the Christians, the Muslims, the Americans, nor the Russians, nor the Chinese. It's going to be for them. It's just how the world works. It's an ugly world. You want to be an adult, open your eyes, look around, and accept the world for what it is. All right, I gotta go. I don't have to pee. I'm good though. I'm relieved, but I gotta go. I gotta eat breakfast. I didn't eat breakfast yet. Listen, y'all have a great day. It's a long time since I streamed on a Saturday. It's a lot of fun. Gotta go. The TSR3B is real. Focus on the fact that every struggle is about energy. Gotta go. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all. I'm out. Bye.
Propulsion apparatus.
And so I started thinking, well, maybe it's like a cyclotron. Maybe there's an electrical discharge from this. Basically, this whole thing looks like a giant Tesla coil. It's got the capacitor array. It's got, a central column that looks like the secondary windings of a Tesla coil. And this might even go back to something that Nikola Tesla discovered back in the 1940s. And, it was all hushed up, and all the UFO sightings we've ever seen were something that came from Nikola Tesla and not from another planet. Nikola Tesla discovered back in the 1940s, and it was all hushed up, and all the UFO sightings we've ever seen were something that came from Nikola Tesla and not from another planet. Nikola Tesla discovered back in the 1940s, and it was all hushed up, and all the UFO sightings we've ever seen were something that came from Nikola Tesla and not from another planet.
The AL